So, getting right into it. Last where we left off, your group had finally, after a long time, been able to resurrect and reinvigorate your friend Persephone with life once more. Having achieved this task, your group immediately sought to collect your thoughts and prepare for your next goal. In doing so, however, the day was long and seemed to go by in a blink. You made your way to the Step-Aside Tavern to rest for the night, not before stopping at some shops on the way. But, however, due to the heat starting to beat the drow down, you all moved along quickly, leaving any untoward investigations for another day. Eventually arriving to the tavern, you waited around for the rivals to re-emerge. However, it seemed that night, at the very least, they did not show, leaving you all to eventually find rest for yourselves, and through this have, for the first time in a long time, a peaceful slumber, uninterrupted and unperturbed. We find ourselves now in the morning of the next day. The sun is beginning to rise, and the morning is upon you. You all start waking up one by one. We'll head down the list, as is tradition at this point, to ask each of you. First things first, who amongst you do you believe would be waking up nice and early? Probably before everyone else. Does anyone have any pep in their step this day in particular?
Why not? I said I would.
Alright. We'll go ahead and pull you to the map for now, so you can all be here. Is anyone else roughly waking up early?
I have 6 levels of exhaustion.
I mean, sure.
11 a.m.
Eridonis
considered
will
early.
probably seize the day.
Alright. So, I suppose starting with Eric's is already on the move. What are your morning routine? Or what is your morning routine currently?
I'll wake up, rub the sleep out of my eyes, look around the room, get a sense of my bearings, and then find the bathroom. And Eric's usual morning ritual, try to clean himself off, splash some water in his face, stare into the mirror and think back on all the forlorn terrors that await him in the future, and pull himself together.
Finding your way out. Do you wait for your friends to come out or head downstairs immediately?
I think I would head downstairs. I'll wait for them down there.
Alright then. In the meantime, Eridonis, waking up around the same time, maybe a little slower to get out of bed or start. What is your morning routine?
Well, we're gonna get up, get out of the room. Food is the first order of business for Eridonis. He's gonna quickly head into the bathroom.
Luckily, you didn't
Rinse
knock
his
anyone
face.
out. That's
Yeah, not knocking out any drow. He's gonna quickly rinse his face, look at himself in the mirror, and then for a moment just lean over the sink and give a sigh of relief as the events of the last day, I suppose, kind of come back to him. And at least he's gonna breathe in relief that we got Persephone back. That's always a nice turn of events. And then, food.
this
food.
man wastes no time.
Heading downstairs and joining Eric's. Next on the slate to wake up would be you, Finzyra.
Sure
As
it
you
is.
would wake up probably a few minutes after, maybe hearing the movement of footfall on creaking wooden floorboard heading downstairs. How is your morning routine?
Well, I gotta, brush my hair. 'Cause it's all curly and wavy and shit. It's all up. Now What's that door? Just get myself ready, not looking like utter garbage and crap, and then, well, I don't think that I would know if they're still in there, but I'll at least knock on this door.
You knock, and Persephone, you last to wake, are awakened by the sound of a knocking on your door.
What?
Sorry, do you need more sleep?
No, it's fine. Just, I'll be out.
Okay, would you like me to get breakfast for you, or?
Do what you want.
Okay. Alright. Go downstairs.
Mm-hmm. Finding your way down and joining the others. Persephone, how's your morning routine?
Pretty shitty. Crawling out of bed after getting woken up. Gonna just look out the window before emptying out my bags and just looking over all my stuff. Realizing that most of this is shit now, and I'm just gonna have to replace it, so just toss it back in, throw it out somewhere later. Flora coming over to the mirror and seeing the charred and sulfur-ridden long hair that I now have, taking out a dagger that still lightly singed, but should be good enough to cut, and giving myself the old military haircut treatment by sloppily cutting it. It's not really a trash can or anything, so I'm just gonna gather that up and toss it somewhere in like a corner.
Mm-hmm.
My own door is locked for me.
Before you leave the loading level, the load zone, if I recall last session, Finzyra, did you slip a letter under the door?
I did. There's a little note paper.
You see a small note on the floor.
I can't remember what it says, but it was just saying that I was, like, worried about them, but didn't want to disturb them if they needed space. With, like, a little heart.
Pick that up after probably stepping on it on my way out the door. Read it. Shove it in the bag before going out. What are my living conditions?
Asleep, prone.
I'll sleep prone. Ugh.
Sleep dragging yourself across the floor. You eventually get out of here.
Stop in the bathroom, but I'm not moving my token over there.
Wow. Okay. Everyone else did. Persephone, I think you need to go ahead and do what everyone else
I
did.
feel like my immersion's
Yeah.
right now. You gotta go back.
All right, get to it. Now, what do you do?
There you go.
We'll just come
Clean
on.
myself off of it to remove the smell of sulfur and charcoal and death.
It's pleasantly removed, though a bit of perfume or fine scents might do you some good. But eventually, you make your way downstairs with the others. Before we get downstairs and properly start the day, give me one quick moment to go get a cup of water, because I forgot one before session.
Oh man, he missed
Thirsty
the spectator
motherfucker.
token.
Huh? No. I put this one back on when you went out of the room. Oh my god! Get out of there! I'll be back.
So how's your
Damn it.
Scooby snacks?
My Scooby snacks?
That is what I said.
They're good, I guess. They're pretty alright.
You people are probably too young to remember when Scooby snacks were a real thing.
They are a real thing.
Do they not still make those?
They do make them. Why? Hell. Why? Why would you say that?
You're getting closer to death.
And everyone
That's
is.
Exactly.
Okay.
Not me. I'm immortal.
Sure. Sure, buddy. I'll believe you until proven otherwise, you know?
Don't
You're
you know half
next.
Triton, half Dragonborn don't have lifespans?
I mean, that's not technically incorrect.
You can just get away with not aging by giving Nerd Patrol a math equation instead of a birthday.
Oh my god. Do y'all believe that my AC is still broken? It's been 2 weeks.
No.
L.
No.
Well, 2 weeks from when it broke on stream, so actually closer to 3. Blech.
Ugh.
They were supposed to be here yesterday to fix it, but they did not. Bro's getting a whole ass sandwich with his water.
Bro's getting a whole ass ocean with his beach.
What? Oh my god.
What?
He shows the age calculator for Eric's. Oh god. Yeah, I remember that. That was a lot to read. Scooby-Doo fruit snacks. Well, now that we're back, we can go ahead and begin. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Step Aside Tavern, first floor. Get rid of all your old tokens. Out with the old, in with the new. There might be a spectator token on this. If there is, you'll be polite and tell me, I'm sure.
No.
You do not have a token
There's no
on this map.
spectators.
Wonderful, thank you. In that case,
Oh, wait,
Adonis,
there's one over here.
where?
Oh, never mind. That was some spectator.
Okay.
That was just you placing our own tokens down.
I see. You know what? Do this a little earlier in the day so more people can start flocking in. Here we go. Adonis, Eric's, Finzyra, and Persephone. 2 of you are going to be invisible for a second as... let's do it in order. Eric's, you're the first down. Where do you immediately find yourself to sit?
I think the same table as last time, right?
Alright.
That seems smart.
Fair enough. Adonis, you eventually make it down shortly after.
Suppose I'll join Eric's. Seeing him bright and early.
Alright.
Actually, the first place I would have gone is to check on the dog.
Okay, then I'm sitting over here.
Where's the
Alright,
spectator?
and the 2 of you will make it down in succession, not too long after. Well, Eric's will be out the door by this point, I would say.
Yes.
Eric's to describe, I guess for everyone, generally a description for anyone who goes outside today. as the month turns over and the season comes to an end, it's difficult to tell the shifting of seasons in a place like this, middle of the desert, corner of the world. However, there's a certain change to the atmosphere of the people that walk the streets and the emotions of the general city populace. Though things are stressful and probably more chaotic than they have been in Ank'Harel in a very long time, people have a sense of calm about them as this new time comes around. Decorations change, certain tapestries and large cloth hangings are being shifted out for more festive and seasonally appropriate colors as things are changing. Erix, as you exit the door and make your way around, you see the sight of your other friends, the party of AOJ. Currently, they seem to be sitting around a table. Some seem bruised and battered, and they seem to have bandages and other magical healing signs of show that would have happened to them currently in place. You see Maggie crouched over, currently petting and feeding the small dog that's outside, almost talking to it in whispers.
Well, first things first, I gotta spend a spell slot to speak with animals.
And as you kind of show up, Maggie will just wave over to you, being the first to notice. As you cast a spell, you, casting it out, hear the dog already in conversation with Maggie. Seems to be finishing up a dialogue that you can't quite pick up on immediately as it turns around to you and says, "Hello, you're the friend from last night."
That's
Back
right.
to- It's like to
I
Maggie,
see
"This
you're
is the one
still
who
around
named me
here."
Donut." "Yes, this is where I like to be. They feed me here. They're very nice."
I couldn't imagine a better spot. If I was a dog, I would be lounging on this very same patio with you.
Yes, and a lot of the city is quite scary sometimes. Other dogs all around.
You've mentioned as much before.
Mm-hmm. This is a safer place. Nice and shaded and free food all around and no competition.
Well, it seems somebody's already fed you your breakfast.
Maggie will just kind of look over and say, "It's a very nice doggy. I just thought I'd bring him something out. But he's well and fed now, isn't that right?" Donut just says, "Oh yes. I'm very glad there's so many friendly people around these days. Sometimes people are rude, but a lot of times people are nice."
I'll offer my hand out to Donut, and if he's receptive, I'll give him a little scratch on the head.
He is receptive to the scratch. Takes it and seems happy with the interaction, joyously wagging his tail along as you do.
And speaking to the other 4 non-dog people here, in common, I guess.
Yeah.
How did your mission go? Were you successful?
Hey, I was just gonna go, yeah, we were successful. I can't give you details, obviously, we already talked about that much, but it went well. A few scrapes, but it just comes with the territory. Little more action-packed than I anticipated, I'll admit, but exciting. And, if all goes well, then you might be hearing about us sooner than later.
Well, I won't pry, but there is someone inside who might be interested to meet you again.
I see. Looks around to the others. If the 3 of you want to mingle, go ahead, but I think for now I should have a private conversation. Thanks, Erix. I'll let her know you sent me. And in a moment, before we get to what happens inside, the other two look to you and just say, well, Dermot speaks up and says, well, how did it go? The resurrection, that is.
I suppose there are good things and bad things. We've got Persephone back, but it seems we're now contractually obligated to do the bidding of the fiend.
Oh. How did... Huh. That's no good.
Wasn't my choice, but
Of course.
couldn't see another way out of it.
I mean, I'm sure it's not that bad of a thing. So long as you didn't sign your name in ink, you don't have to do what he tells you.
Well, that's
At least that's the way the stories go. No?
That fiend sort of has Seridanis and Fenzira signing other people's names in ink.
I mean, I'm sure they're smart enough not to do that. Or at least they can be talked out of it.
You've met Eridanis, right?
Yeah. I can't remember which one did it, but I remember... No, it was Persephone for sure. Someone, threw me into him when we first met. Or Maggie. It's all a blur. I just kind of rubs his head. But I get what you're saying. However, there has to be a line, right? Something even they won't cross?
I think for our warlock, that line is as far away as the stars.
Maybe, but there's good in all people.
That's the hope that I hold on to.
It's a good one to have. Well, I wish you luck talking him out of it. Business like that is nasty, and I hope you can separate yourself from it quick. Galceriad's going to speak up and say, I wish I could help more, but unfortunately incantations like that, magical bindings done with fiendish magic, I haven't made myself an expert in. If we meet anyone in the city, though, I'll let Ao know to tell you.
I hear you're doing your research.
Yes.
And we have you to thank for a lot of the information we know about this Jewel of Three Prayers.
We've all been doing our reading, but I must admit, I've been dabbling a bit more than the others. Maggie says, Oh, don't say that now. You've been having your nose in a book almost constantly. This is one of the few times you haven't, and we're appreciative of it.
And I know Maggie, Ao, and Dermot appreciate it, but I don't think I've told you how much I appreciate it either.
I'm glad someone can appreciate something like that. Others might say there's not much to be found in a book. I think otherwise. This city, it's new and interesting. Jorhas was humble, so to say, in kind words. There was never a good book you could find in a place like that. Not unless you were deep in Rossona, but even then, things were hidden. Out here, knowledge is just, besides the occasional thing, free to take. It's wonderful.
I don't know how new this city truly is, but there's a lot you can learn from the history books.
As I've been figuring out.
On Corral, seems like it's been here forever. The buildings are as old as time. And I did hear something about an excavation.
Yes, excavation. Not sure much about that, but as for the history of the city, me and Maggie have been looking into it individually to try and find out what we can. We've been able to figure out that this place is probably centuries old, maybe just after the calamity, maybe a bit longer. It's a bit of a blur, but what we do know is that there are suspicions about the town's king. It says that he's been here ever since the kingdom was established, hundreds of years ago. Sitting on his throne and ruling with care over his people. Some books even suggest wildly that he might be some sort of fey entity.
Now that would be a strange accusation to make, I suppose. But
Hmm.
what ruler wouldn't want to encourage such things?
Oh yes, and perhaps it is the ruler's encouragement, but there's a decent amount of evidence to suggest it. Though I won't bore you with the specifics.
Please do. I love hearing stories like this.
Maggie says, "Oh, well, I did a bit of reading on this. The rumors say that the king has been able to perform great feats of powerful magic over the years. Obviously, he's a powerful figure, not like your King Dwindle or even the Bright Queen, but something more. It's said that in the past there was another group of heroic adventurers that came through here, and they stopped a great evil in the world alongside the king. Though details seem hidden almost and sparse, I have to wonder what happened to a lot of the records of that. Regardless, the names of him and his people are abundant, and it's said that he is to thank for the wellspring of nature that surrounds this barren desert. If you haven't noticed, the city has a lot of exotic plants in it and running water. It's apparently uncommon for this region. Gosiriad says, incredibly. It would take something of great magical and natural power to even persist such a thing.
Well, I haven't been outside the city walls yet, but it is quite humid. That would suggest we are in some sort of desert.
Yes, outside these walls lies infinite rolling sands, all until the edge of the continent where deep, thick jungle seems to propagate. At least that's what I've seen on maps.
That explains the emptiness on my map.
Maybe we'll have to share notes sometimes if I can find a better map. Might be interesting leads out in the desert. Who knows what those sands hide? Apparently the whole continent used to be a jungle.
The rumors of this ruler in Ankara are quite fascinating. It almost reminds me of home.
You have a lot of interesting tales from your home?
Certainly, but I imagine they're just children's stories compared to what happens out here. Some say back in Rukva there's a secret council or a mysterious leader guiding things on a path of good, but you can't really trust those things. Rukva's been independent as long as I've known it.
Huh. Dermot will say, that sounds kind of like the Bright Queen's court. Most of the members are publicly known, but there's a lot of hidden people from what I've seen behind the scenes, suspected to be members of just average society, walking around disguised as common folk getting their groceries, living day-to-day lives just like us.
I suppose that must keep their people quite paranoid.
No kidding. But most people there, myself included, look to the Luxon for guidance and know that the Bright Queen does as well. And as long as she cherishes our people's goal in mind, then we trust her and her council to do right by us as a people.
I don't think your trust is misplaced, Dermot. Your Luxon and your Bright Queen have guided you this far.
They have. And though she can be almost cruel to foreigners at times, I've seen acts of mercy from her as well. They've been spoken of in many. Even with the ending of the war, she was cooperative. And even encouraging of it. It's good to see
I'm
peace.
very familiar with this war, but I had heard stories.
It was called the War of Ash and Light. To keep it short, it was just a war between the Dundalian Empire and Kryn over a stolen Luxon beacon. I can tell you more in the future, but maybe now's not the time.
Perhaps it's a story for when we're good and old, retired and sitting under the sun as we are now.
Maybe, but I extend the offer. Next time we meet, ask me more. I'll let you know.
Then I will gladly accept.
Either way, you should probably get into your friends soon. Sure they'll be bored sitting around. I'm sure you guys have a busy day as well. We do it too. We have to upgrade our gear.
We do. You should check out the Sunfire Forge. It's in the northern part of the city.
Maggie says, I've heard about it. I was telling them that, but we weren't too sure. Is it really that good?
I think he really is. It's run by a Triton of all things. He's a very skilled blacksmith, a follower of Moradin.
So it says, that's a long walk, though. Maybe we'll make it there later, or tomorrow morning.
Plenty to see along the way.
Now that we're excited for.
Eric
We'll tell
will,
AM.
Take out... Hold on, inventory. I'm gonna take out my Riptide crossbow and just... hold on. I'm fumbling with stuff right now. I'll set it down on this table right here. And the blacksmith there crafted this weapon. Is quite elegant, you can see.
Wow. No kidding.
Plenty more besides. Armors of all sizes, axes, hammers, swords. Whatever you could need.
We'll be sure to stop by. Thanks for the recommendation.
Don't mention it. And I'll pick up my crossbow and head inside.
Before you head inside, fully, and before even Ao makes it inside real quick, to the rest of you. Hold on.
We can cover that
There
later.
you go. No, I'm just hitting you
Perfect.
with a yes indeed, that's all. As you all head in, or wake up in the morning and head to your respective tables, Finzyra, you head to the front counter, I suppose. Do you ask anything of the owner?
Hello, can I order some breakfast?
Yes. The house has been preparing today. We have some oats and basic necessities, but we also picked up some fine fruits from the International District recently. We'll try and mix them in.
Alright.
We'll bring some to your table, just call it a gold. For you and your...
Okay. I will. Oh my god.
Alright. Takes the coin and heads back to get to work. Three of you are all sitting at the table now with each other a moment before Ao arrives.
Right. Whole table should be getting food now. What's everybody doing? Good morning.
Good morning.
Kinda shit, thanks for asking.
Why is it shit?
Fen, I just crawled off my deathbed. Literally.
I get that, but I mean, you're here with us all. I would think that that's at least somewhat of a positive.
I'd say it was a negative.
Hmm.
Doesn't stop the night terrors, though.
See you cut your hair?
Not a big fan of charred and sulfured.
I mean, fair. If you had let me know that you wanted to cut it, I could have helped you.
Can do it myself. Done this haircut hundreds of times at this point. Stopped doing it for a couple of years after my dad died, but you know.
That's fair. Awkward silence.
Well, we must think to other matters in the meanwhile. The day
That's way too much shit
goes
to
long.
do.
Yes, so we might as well start crossing off all of our goals one by one, shouldn't we?
I kind of had to do that when, big man with the Harrryyyson were here is not present. He ran off again.
I think I see him over there. It seems to be our other acquaintances have returned from wherever they were. He's speaking with them. I'm sure he'll only be a while.
Great.
Anyways.
Main thing on our agenda should be getting you some new clothes, right?
Don's gonna busy himself with reading his star map, which I have to add as an item.
Mhm.
Couldn't really find clothes yesterday. We just found like hats and other random things.
I got a more pressing issue that, everything I own is kind of fucked up, so.
Mm,
New gear, everything top to bottom. And I mean everything. I don't care if it's legal or not.
it's been probably way too many days. I don't know if I would be able to help fix any of those things.
No one can help me fix these things. They're completely fucked. I need a whole forge or something.
Mm,
Which, there's only one person I know of who managed to get a weapon like I'm looking for on Bazazan. And it was that underground salesman that the consortium was in league with. And last I checked, they're in Ank'Harel.
right. I mean, they are, and we know where they are. Just, I need to ask them some questions when we talk to them, I guess.
Okay. I thought that was a given, but alright.
There was just a weird, like, letter case or whatever from them to our previous bird companion that kind of, tried to hurt or kill Eric's, so. Just want to see what they got delivered, I guess, or if they're part of the whole weird scheme of assassin-y stuff, but it's no big deal, I guess. Sorry, I'm rambling.
Yeah, fine. Just. So, the guy who tried to kill Eric's had something from the consortium, and you're worried that they're part of it?
That about sums it up, yeah?
And you met with them?
I met with them before that.
Okay. Did they try to kill you?
It was in the same day that we talked to them that they told me and Eridonis that I had someone, like, apparently waiting for me in the same... It's in the same area. The same... Anyway. The same area where they're...
Why would they give you a warning if they wanted you?
They just told me that I needed to watch my back more, I guess. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm probably just being paranoid, but it's just better to ask so that I can confirm or deny
I'm not
my
telling
theory.
you not to ask. I heard what happened. Sucks. Important to keep an eye out.
But yes, we can work on helping you get yourself back up and ready.
So, Adonis, I know it's been a bit since the rise, but how's the horrifying gem star chart going?
Well, unfortunately, after a certain fiery inferno of an interruption, progress has been slow on it. I must get back to this in due time. But on that topic, nerd,
I was about to
is there
ask you if there's
anything?
anything specific you were doing.
I recall that last time the scholars had said something along, or the scholars and also the strange being inside of the crystal at the bottom of the rise had mentioned that now the star chart should point towards the place where uh, that failed ascension had occurred, or at least start pointing towards it.
And this is the holographic star chart that you got from, or transparent star chart rather, that you received from Vecna, I believe, or the whispered one.
The spirit inside of the green crystal, indeed. It's the same one.
Okay, I just had to make sure. Yes. So you pull out that star chart and you start looking over it. As you do, and as you did before, looking at it doesn't seem to reveal new information. It seems like a complete device. It's just... as it did before, it seems like it's missing something. It seems like a destination with no environment. A line, but no detail. Definitely makes out certain constellations flitting in and out in the corners of the map that almost seem to make up trails and areas, but you aren't sure what it could be missing. Or maybe you are.
It's all non-distinct still. I see lines and I see skeins, but they all seem to go nowhere. It's like a single small bit, a much larger piece. But I don't even know what that larger piece is in truth. Once all of this business is over, I really must find some archives here. There was an absence of them in Bazozan, but in a place such as this, with the archives of the Cobalt Soul nearby, I must have more time to peruse. But for the time being, that can be set aside. We do have other more pressing matters.
As about you say this, you see coming around the corner, Ao.
Indeed, speaking of such pressing matters, here comes one right now.
Walking in and before hearing that, and kind of marching up to the table and looking over at Persephone, saying, "Good morning to you."
Morning.
Eric's told me that you were back in action, and I don't know, I just thought we should talk. It's been a while. I don't know if you're busy right now, though. I can leave if you want.
Not at all. I have to wait for Blue Boy Scout over there to get back first, but we
He's
can talk.
talking with the others right now, so we've got time.
Yeah. Funny, it's only been a day since I saw you.
Maybe for you, but I assure you,
Everyone
time's
else,
been
it's
moving
a
out
lot
here.
longer.
So, should I take a seat, or do you want to go somewhere else?
What do you want to talk about?
I don't know. She'll just kind of step up and sit down and just say, "Sorry to be rude, hello, Finzyra?" Looks over to you, Eric's, nods her head. Eric's? Eridonis, sorry. She looked back to you, Persephone, and just say, "Things on our end have been busy, and I'm not really sure how much you've been told. If I'm being honest."
I barely got anything. I got that somebody is trying to kill a couple of my friends, but that's about it.
It's, I believe that's news to me.
Oh
That's-
shit, didn't tell you either. Fun.
Maybe it's more recent. I remember talking with them, or all of you, not too long ago.
It just didn't come up.
I see. Well, I wish you luck avoiding that. Sheesh, sounds like a hell of a time. Must be pretty important for that to happen, though, eh?
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, what kind of people call assassinations on others? It's like can't do the job themselves? Either way, I digress. Things on our end have been... exciting is a word for it. We've been gathering details and working with some of the locals in this city, hoping we can find more answers to our combined goal. I spoke with Eric's a lot about it, and I suppose for now I can keep the details to myself unless he plans on sharing some of it, but we had a bit of a spat the last time we talked, and I just wanted to apologize to all of you. I didn't mean it in any mean way. And we're squared now. We'll be doing our thing, and you'll be doing yours. So, kind of leans back and just kind of awkwardly sits for a minute. How was death?
Not the first time, won't be the last.
Cool, that's cool. Is it weird to say that... I don't know. I mean, obviously I'd want to come back. I wouldn't want to stay dead, just... maybe the experience could be exciting? Nah. I don't know. Just like, you gotta live through everything, right? I mean, that had to be exhilarating, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, the heat hitting my face as my life was snuffed out was pretty damn exhilarating.
No, I didn't mean the method of death, just
I'm
the
fucking
whole
with you,
thing.
it's fine.
Well,
Seriously, if I let a little death get me down, I would never go anywhere. I mean, was raised in Barzazan. Blood in the streets is just a normal thing.
That's fair. I didn't quite grow in Bazuzan, but I know what you mean. The pirates.
Wait, shit, you were raised by pirates?
No. Privateers, sailors. My parents were adventurers. I eventually lived in Jorhas for a long time, though. Just grew up in the coast. For a little. Regardless, anything exciting with all of you today? We recently had a bit of a job, but I can't really share the details. Not privy.
They just started for us, really. Yeah, coast is kind of nice. Didn't get to spend much time there before the island we were on literally sank, but it was fun while it lasted.
Yeah, I can't say that's a common occurrence.
Not at all. Sahagwan are fucking weird.
Fish people, fish devils. I never liked them, but now that we've seen real demons, I mean, they almost seem like a drop in the oceanic bucket. Well, been good meeting up again, but I guess unless you have anything else you want to talk about, I should probably get moving on.
There's actually one thing I want to ask you about.
Oh?
Right, if you wouldn't mind.
That. Of course. No bother. We already have a place, apparently. Just follow me.
Alright, be right back, you two.
Kind of
Okay.
clears her throat and just walks away. You walk a tiny bit down the street and lean up against the side of a building, looking around before talking, and she'll just say, "What do you got?"
Nothing so serious, but you asked me at one point. I think now that things are like this, it's only fair to ask you. I'm getting kind of tired of how we go about things. And I think the first step I can get to fixing that is a party name.
Smile starts to creep up her face as you talk about this, and she says, Oh, that's a relief to hear. I'm glad that things are finally coming around for all of you, but honestly, I'm more upset at myself for not having come up with one for ours until recently.
At least you could come up with one for fucking nothing.
I mean, we've had some for a while, it's just... I've been sitting on it, you know? I wanted to make sure our group did something big before we started putting our name out there. I would tell you it now, but... I think in the next few weeks you'll be learning it. Or
Shit.
at some time soon.
That big, huh?
Oh yeah, I would say. We got a lot of people who hate us now, I think, but hopefully more that like us. Either way, it's the kind of attention I want.
Right?
Exactly. Well, I mean, I would tell you that this is something you should talk about with your fellows if you're going to come up with something like that, but do you have any ideas of your own that you're hoping they'll latch on to?
Not even a little bit. Honestly, I'm just trying to get the ball rolling since I don't know what happened while I was gone, but whatever it was, it seems to have really fucked with those three.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, I came back and in the first 5 minutes, Eric's fucking took off.
I can't blame him. I mean, growing up in the sea, you know, I don't know how his life was, but it sounds like he had a much more tranquil time than I did. Going from something like that straight into a city, I can't imagine it's great. It's a very rapid shift in environment. New kinds of people as well. There's some good in this city, but in the places we like to get ourselves into, there's a lot of bad. But you have to put yourself right into the middle of the hornet's nest if you want to kill it. That's just how it goes.
I'm working on it.
Either way,
Yeah.
I guess, I don't know if you discussed with him any and what we talked about last time I spoke with them.
Not yet. Like I said, haven't really gotten to talk to him much.
Guess to fill you in, it's better now that you're back, and I do like hearing that you guys are trying to, you know, become something now and get your shit together, for lack of an exaggeration, but, I asked your group if we could, the three remaining ones at least, if we could take the amulet. We've been hot in the pursuit of that Elyxian fellow. We think we have some good details to follow up on, and I already spoke with all of your group about it, but as it stands, it seems like you guys have a lot on your plate, and I thought I'd offer, but obviously it was dumb in hindsight. None of them were even remotely considerate of it, which I guess should say something good for you about their dedication to your task. But I'm hoping I can make amends for that one day.
I think you're doing just fine. And the fact you're working on it at all, despite that, is kind of crazy. Asked me a couple months ago if I gave a shit about any of this, I would just straight told you no.
It's reasonable, but no, this is something big. It affects a lot of people. Someone has to do
Really?
something about it. We're hot on the case. So, I guess, with that said, now that we're kind of working together a little bit, not really, just don't feel like you guys have to be as pressured to really worry that poorly about it. We'll keep things moving, and if you guys ever fall back, then we can help catch you up. We hope you do the same with us.
Sure. Really, the only one I think I have to get to pry away a bit is Eric's. Especially since he's got the thing on him, since I was indisposed.
Of course,
This is
but...
the main problem.
Mhm. I'm sure that will go over well, but just all I'm saying is take the time to deal with you and your own. You guys really need it. Don't worry yourselves too much about all this. We'll get started.
I appreciate that. I've got a lot of stuff to worry about right now.
Mm-hmm.
First one feeling like I crawled out of a grave, which is true.
Yeah, there's like a steam garden, I think. Like a sauna or something. I've never been. I mean, I kinda was there. It's probably a nice place.
You know what? I don't think I'll ever have the time to stop there, but tell me where it is anyway. That sounds fucking awesome.
It's in that big circle of the city that's just covered in plants and nature and stuff. It's very hard to miss. Ask around that district and I'm sure people will point you in the right direction. Though there
Will
might be a
do,
lot
because
of
I have
cops.
no fucking idea where that is.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure someone has a map, but I either away. I should get back to it unless you have anything else. I wish you luck coming up with a name. It's not easy, I get it. But it's important. It helps people know who you
Okay.
are when they're talking about you.
Sure. I think I'm good though. I don't really have anything serious to talk about. Just a lot of shit.
Mm-hmm. Well, take your time to figure it out. You've got your time ahead of you. We've got some shit to do as well. Time doesn't wait. I think we'll be heading into the desert soon. The Ramadan calls. Goodbye, my friend.
So yeah.
That she walks away, leaving you to your own for a moment.
Whilst
Before Persephone, I was gonna say, before Persephone gets back, the two of you are left to your own. Speak.
Herodotus is going to check that Persephone is gone. That Eric's is also preoccupied. I guess I could see him
Mm-hmm. You
in
hear
the
talking
corner of my
from
vision.
them. Yeah.
I guess Zara would see Herodotus furrowing his brows at the star chart for a little bit longer before closing it up.
Mm-hmm.
And Zyra, I do have some questions for you. I recall you had seen a vision. Well, it seems we have both seen one. That of a city, one sinking into the abyss. I had dreamed myself drowning it. From what I remember, you remembered you had seen me standing within this city, or perhaps atop it before it sank into the abyss. Is that not correct?
In the center, I would believe, standing, but yeah. What about it?
Do you recall anything else?
I mean, the way leading there was just like a river. It was kind of taking me through my own life before I got to look at a view of yours, I guess. Don't really think there was much else about you specifically.
It's not so much myself that I'm worried about, it's this city. I must consult the records, but my benefactors, my fellows from the other place, they had spoken of that failed ascension to something beyond to divinity.
Mm-hmm.
What do you make of it? Do you think that's it would be an admirable goal? Reaching for divinity for the sake of knowledge?
What cost would it come at, though? That's the question.
It's the same one that's been rattling in my mind. Evidently, we must not have met it, seeing as how the others had all perished, and myself. Well, we've seen how I turned out.
Hmm.
Still, though, our city to sink beneath the waters like that, not to be found ever again.
Well, it happened back then, and it happened more recently with Mama Flora, so... Can't say it's that uncommon at this point.
I'm trying to think on what Alexian had said about his own imprisonments. Trying to go through my notes here.
Mhm.
You know, I'll actually float that to Finzyra. Everyone else just be thinking out loud. Alexian had also mentioned the place he was being imprisoned in. There was some people who were harvesting that red crystal.
Hmm.
He'd mentioned being deep underground as well, or somewhere in the depths at least.
Well, I mean, I have the inkling that it is underground, underwater, at the very least, so...
Exactly what I'm getting to. What are the odds that the city we seek and the city that's, I guess we gesture to a star chart, the city that I search for might be the same one?
I mean, maybe. It depends on how many have sunk under the water, but...
I cannot imagine so many as to make them that commonplace across the world.
Well, there's at least 2 that we know of. But I'd say it's decently likely. Just have to figure out where that is exactly.
Of course, then the question comes, if we do find this city, well, I'd best not share too many of these thoughts with Eric's. I'm glad that you've at least given me your ear. I must think on my own history and what these scholars of mine had attempted to do. Imagine how much knowledge we could gain from divinity. Imagine how much more we could learn from the stars if we could be their equals. Eridanus would drift away into his own thoughts.
Around this point, I would say that Eric's, you would have finished up your conversation and can start moving once more. Eventually, you see Ao marching back as you're around leaving, heading to her crew.
I'd want to turn around and just catch Ao before I leave.
Chill. Look over to you before you take off and just wait to see if you have something to say.
Ao, last time we spoke, you mentioned that you had more information on the Jewel of Three Prayers, that you were speaking to a contact in the city.
Yeah. We got some stuff. Do you want to know more?
Anything you could tell us would be useful. For now, I think our next plan is to see what we can find ourselves.
Alright, and I don't know how much of this you already know. We're just trying to fill in the blanks ourselves, you know. We don't actually have the thing, so getting info has been a little harder for us. We've been focusing more on swapping our pursuits towards this, and she kind of motions to the spear on her back. Now that you key me in on what it might be.
Perhaps we can all speak as a group inside.
That sounds like a good idea.
I'd hate to keep
You
the
guys-
others out of the loop so long.
Yeah, she just says, you guys can come on in too if you want. And Maggie will just say, I'll stay here for now. You two go ahead and take care of it. Everyone will head on in. And by this time, Persephone, you're also heading in, leading to the congregation. Should probably get the bigger table.
Let's pull over some chairs.
You can just go take one of those larger ones over there.
Why don't we just slide two together?
We'll just sit right here.
Wow.
Syria sits in the hay bale. So, do you want to go ahead and fill them in on what we were talking about?
I'll
You three.
take off the jewel again and set it down on the table in between everyone. This amulet, well, as you all know, this represents our current mission. Oh, I suppose one of our many current missions. We've been all called to find this Elixian figure. Somewhere in a deep, dark place full of this red, ruidous material. We don't have a lot of straws to pull or leads to go on. That's a black mausoleum. Some underwater environment. Ancient ruins. And a few gods that have all pledged their service at one time or another to this poor, distraught hero from the past.
Theo says, and we've gathered our own information on the side that we would be willing to share, if you'd listen. Nothing too crazy, just what we've been able to know. She'll kind of walk up to the table and take a seat if you're standing, and then take a spear off of her back and lay it down on the table as well, kind of near the jewel. Eric's here informed me just a bit ago that this spear might be a little more than I expected. For a long time now, ever since we got it from the Betrayer's Rise, it has spoken with me. We aren't on a name basis quite yet, but it claims itself to be some great champion from the Calamity, saying that it's knew Elixian, perhaps was even friends with him or an acquaintance at a time. They were battle buddies. Some sort of big battle took place there, something to do with a clash between the gods of good and evil. And kind of motions over to Dermot, and Dermot says, and the holy significance of this battle is nothing to be shunted. The Luxon wasn't quite around at the time. This is so old to predate such, as the Kryn dynasty didn't even exist yet. This was back when Jorahas was still claimed good and well by the Betrayer gods. It was said that this Elixian fellow, from what we've been able to learn, was a great champion of the gods. We're sure that his origins were in this city. So whatever reasons drew us here, we think it might have something to do with this destiny of ours. We know that Elixian was gifted by these gods. So much power so that people even in rumored circles called him a god themselves. And Galsiriad will speak and say, remnants from the Calamity and powerful magical artifacts might suggest that perhaps to some capacity this Elixian fellow was able to take the power of these gods himself, use them to fight back the Betrayer gods, and along his journey, perhaps his emotions took hold and coalesced into some form of magical energy. We aren't sure specifically what that could mean or what it leads to, but all we know is that whatever power this figure has and whatever drives them has strongly to do with emotion. Ao says, so what we know is we're dealing with some temperamental wannabe demigod who, according to your information, is locked up somewhere, nice and tight.
Forgotten, abandoned, however you describe it. But at least we know now why Naviask chose this city of all the others to revive our friend.
We should go talk to that Naviask. I mean, I'm curious to know why we were brought here. If he knows anything, then he should spill it. That's for sure.
He's unfortunately a bit temperamental. I
Great.
may have made a mistake. Destroyed something he values.
That's no good. You still on talking terms?
I'm not sure.
Well, I hope you can get that sorted out, but I guess to close for now. This spear, we have been told, might be an arm of the betrayer by Eric's here. A superstition at best right now, but one that I won't ignore. A powerful artifact of the betrayer gods, maybe. See a look of almost curiosity in Galceriad's face and a look of dread over Dermot's. They've heard this information before, you're sure, just hearing it again is interesting. She says, we're trying to figure out the exact origin of this spear, what it is, who it was tied to, and what it's done. The being inside of it hasn't spoken to me in a long time ever since we started to pry into that information. We're going to do our best to figure out what we can, but that means our focus is going to be off of the jewel for a bit. If this truly is an arm of the betrayer, and as Eric says, can be used to destroy Betrayer's rise once and for all, and we know what we have to do. But for now, it might be the only key to solving this mystery, so we can't let it out of our hands. We just have to make sure it stays safe. It doesn't fall into the wrong hands.
If anyone can identify that spear, I think someone who's lived through the terrors of Betrayer's Rise might.
Hopefully. We have to pursue whatever leads we can on the Calamity, checking old ruins and whatnot, and hoping we can find some answers. That's a long task.
Getting at AO and everyone else is perhaps Naviask knows something more about your spear.
You think?
I'll look around the table at all the bewildered faces. He is a quite large demon.
Yeah, I guess. It doesn't sound like he's in much of a talking mood right now anyways. So, if you want to follow up on this hunch, I'd be willing, but it sounds like you have a lot to sort out with him personally beforehand. So, we'll leave you to that. We believe you have a way of contacting us if we need it.
Yep.
Let's go to Kevin.
Alright then. That means we shouldn't have any troubles then, linking up if we need to in the future once you figure this out. We're going to be leaving the city soon, preparing ourselves today and then taking off. Hopefully tomorrow, but you never know how things change. We're going to head out into the desert, not far off, and try and gather some supplies. Old relics. There's an antiquarian in the city who takes an interest in these things, and from what we've heard, as locals have rumored, he might have his own airship. We need to get something like that if we're going to be moving around anywhere other than here. So that's our task.
A solid plan. Suppose our next few tasks should be following up on these assassination attempts. Seeing if we can track down any leads to where they came from. And then perhaps we could speak with the king, if we can get such an appointment.
Try.
From what Dermot and Maggie have told me, if there's anyone willing to help us in our current predicament, he might.
Gassirid says, good luck with that, though. If there's anything that's historically rang out, it's that no matter who you are, it's a difficult person to get in contact with. The last people who did it, the last heroes we told you about, they were tied to some world-ending calamity. So, if you got something like that, then maybe you can get in. But maybe you can sell up your own story.
Perhaps not world-ending, but calamity? We'll see.
Seems pretty far off from a calamity. It's just some guy who's trapped somewhere. And the fact he's trapped makes it pretty much not a problem for the general populace.
He says, but Gasseria does bring up a good point. If you do want to try and talk to the king, and it might not be a bad idea, maybe you need to upsell that story a little bit more. I'm not suggesting you lie, but you should lie. Might help you get in the doors. But either way, I think we should be off for now unless there's anything else you all want to tell us.
I'll pick up the Jewel of Three Prayers and put it back on.
Takes her spear and puts it on.
Just be careful. It's the general thing.
We'll try not to be. Well,
Watch out for pickpockets.
Keep that in mind as well. Gasseriad, Dermot, let's go get Maggie. We got places to go. With that, they all head off, waving off to you and saying their goodbyes as they do. Leaving you all to your own devices.
I'm still chilling, waiting for the breakfast.
The food has been brought out by now. My
Okay,
apologies.
okay.
Yeah, sorry. I never got to describing that properly. Eventually, your meal is brought to you. Fine serving of plain oat. Dried and kept for a while, but served with a pleasant array of different fresh fruits. I would say the accompaniment for this one would be a sweet and almost tropical tasting cactus fruit. It's been prepared nicely, boiled, and served in almost a jammy style. Mixing in a wonderful flavor to a bland meal.
Now that we're finally alone, let's actually talk about what we're doing.
Okay.
But first, how are all of you?
Anxious,
It's all about me
but fine.
yesterday, so
Pretty sure anxious is my consistent state at this point, but alright.
Not to downplay it, but it was all about you for the last week.
and my hands are off for the last week. I wasn't there.
Well, now you are back, and that's what's important.
I suppose we should catch you up on everything you've missed.
That'd be ideal.
Do we wish to fast forward to once we've relayed the whole Sard story over the last week or so?
Of course, if you would all wish. With a moment's pass, you tell tale of your heroic and interesting endeavors, to say the least. And as time goes on, life moves.
Life is currently moving.
It is.
So, That guy just disappeared.
Don't worry about
Life disappears too.
Thanos snap.
it.
We hear him screaming, disappears.
But eventually you're all caught up.
Cool.
Which leads us to the matter of us finally returning to figuring out this elixir. I suppose what Sarah and Dermot had told us was, well, at least they made more progress on it than we had.
There are several things on my to-do list.
Do tell.
First, I need to acquire a new weapon for myself, and it looks like Persephone could use some more equipment as well.
All of it, actually, but yeah.
And then our next step is to hunt down these so-called assassins, Araz's former employers. If they keep following us, they're going to be nothing but a thorn in our sides for the rest of this adventure. We should put a stop to it sooner than later. Perhaps they know a thing or two that we don't.
Hmm.
We have to sort out that business with Darby. The contracts. Are we going to force other people to sign deals with this devil? Or are we going to stand up for what's right?
Well, I suppose you must know that Darby had mentioned we mustn't force them to sign these contracts, but either way, we can leave that business aside for the later. Let Darby wait. He has all the time in the world as a demon, I suppose.
Then I suppose the next step is finding more information about this Elixion. They said he was from Ankara, so they must have histories here.
Indeed.
Someone who keeps record books that tells us about his past life.
I was hoping we might be able to find our way over back to the Cobalt Soul. We hadn't had the chance to go through their archives, but I'm sure if there's any place to start, it should be there.
I don't know if that's the place that we start. Especially since the guy that, tried to off you came from there. If anything, I think we save that for after we're prepared.
Well, we move with caution, and we get rid of the rest of these assassins first. Unless they mean to set the entire Cobalt Soul against us. In which case we'll have to go there anyways, and take what we need, perhaps by force. Or coming.
Yeah, it's the entire organization, but if it's
Don't think
one
we should
rat,
be
it's
employing
probably three.
force against an organization in a city such as this, with an independent guard force. There are only 4 of us, after all.
Well, either way, this must all begin first with us acquiring some more tools of the trade, or at least some to replace that which has been broken. And the day grows longer. The longer that we sit here. Shall we be off then?
Hold on. We gotta find Aloysia. He said that that's how we continue doing stuff with the consortium, and they have what I need.
She's definitely around here somewhere.
I need to look through my notes to see what we had discussed about the, well, the stuff that happened in the basement of that inn tavern.
I haven't seen Miss Talfen since we left the Drow City. What makes you think she's here?
Okay, I know that we hand-waved catch-up, but I just kind of assumed that you told me everything that happened. Would you not have told me about the consortium meeting? Because I did
we
get
would've.
to listen to the consortium meeting. Okay.
We would have told you about, yeah.
So, in that case, you heard that too, then? Oh.
I retcon.
As you know, Aloysia is supposedly back in the city, and now you're aware that your group had some private time to speak with the consortium. Fresh knowledge to Eric's.
Yeah, unfortunately, Eridos would just say that you were away. He was away on a soul-searching mission at the time, actually, so...
This was when you were busy.
They do have a presence here in the city. It's simply a matter of seeking them out.
That figures thieves and criminals would be in bed with any members of the city.
Yeah, you call them thieves and criminals, but we haven't actually seen them do anything illegal.
Well, either way, Moth, as they had referred to them as, these folks with the consortium are involved in the trade of guns. We must seek them out either way. Eric's, I'm sure you can at least permit us acquiring some new tools for Persephone.
Perhaps we should speak to the king first, as guns are illegal in this city.
I'm gonna just put this as blunt as I can. We're not getting an audience with the king. We're fucking no one with a glowy jewel. If you want to march up to the palace and try for that, then sure. But it's not gonna happen.
And either way, if we do intend to march up to the palace, we should at least get a better idea of what Elixion's all about before we go in there. The more we know, the more we can say to the king to convince him of the severity of this mission.
Perhaps if you were less blunt and used your brain a little bit more, you'd realize we've already met the king's top advisor, the wizard.
The wizard that, to continue doing anything for, we need to get this assassin down, which, we don't know what they are, who they are, or anything about them.
We have
That one?
assumptions.
Order of operations. We start with the assassins.
Where do you want to start?
The Cobalt Soul. It's our only lead.
And you want us to do that without them having their primary weapon of choice.
It's not even primary, it's anything.
I'm just meaning you like using them.
Which goes back to the point I said initially. We must get our hands on new tools of the trade. We're not just going to stand up and take the initiative by beginning to pack up and head out.
So we're getting ready to go anyway, but one last thing. If you're gonna run off on your own again, you can't do it with that. And Persephone points at the jewel.
Eric's.
Damn.
Uh-oh.
Fucker's dead, oh my god.
Typing notes.
Oh, okay. We'll wait a second.
Keep track is what's going on here.
Yeah, we'll quickly wait a second for you to get a little caught up.
What did you say?
For drama. Okay, do it again for Stephanie.
Okay. If you're gonna run off on your own again, you can't do it with that. And they point at the jewel 3 prayers.
If you're going to carry an illegal weapon in the city, you can't do it with this.
You see me carrying anything? What I have is scrap metal. You got jumped while you were alone, separated from these two, who also got jumped.
Sorry, let's
We
be
either
on our
corral
way.
as a group, or we don't do it at all.
Sure they'll follow us along in their arguments if we just begin to head out.
You two aren't going anywhere either. We're sticking together. We're supposed to be a team. Let's act like it.
Perhaps you two can argue as a team. Follow us along then. I'm heading to the markets. We all should.
Really?
You
You all head to the world. You may speak as you're walking along. What I'll ask... You know what? I guess you can all speak. I was going to say I'd ask where you'd want to be heading first, but I have a feeling that's More to the point of you'll discuss that in character. For now, you start walking.
Well, we can check out the international district first, see if there's anything there of interest. But then we must make our way over to the Suncut Bazaar. There is that forge. I suppose that's as good a place to find weapons as any.
If you're looking for firearms, you won't find it at the forge.
There is another possible place we might be able to find somebody to supply us.
Listen, just don't worry about those right now. I'll deal with it myself. Forge is fine.
We do have to stop at the old bastion. We've left some things there with the guards.
Yeah, we were gonna pick up the stuff. Yep. Oh, smile.
Then, with that going along, your group's destination is currently as mapped for the moment.
Yep, just drawing it out.
Any opposition?
Not for me.
I don't think it'd matter anyway.
You can still say it.
Silent opposition.
Position.
Is there a lot of twos being drawn on the map?
I've got a lot of opinions for somebody with no money.
Oh my
Wait, who
god.
has no money?
You
Oh,
don't get
Alright.
paper.
Eric's
Oh.
acting like a trust fund baby right now. Money appeared from thin air.
Oh, sweet Jesus.
Listen, the money that appeared from thin air doesn't count.
What do you
I
mean
got
it
you.
doesn't count?
well, okay. I, for one, intend to have the people who are going to be my meat shields, my teammates, well supplied and well armed. So Persephone, I will provide. I will contribute to the rearming Persephone fund.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
I will too. I'm just not paying for a gun. It's Eric's is lawful good.
Do you think I pay for those?
Okay, Persephone, let's go to the gun shop. Let's go to the Bass
Hey.
Pro Shops. I'm getting you hooked up with a strap.
Hooked
The
up.
pyramid.
Yeah, do they still sell guns at Bass Pro Shop?
Dude, I don't know.
I've
I'm a
never been to a
Canadian man.
Bass
I've
Pro
never
Shop.
been.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We get
I'm
our
an
guns
American,
at
man.
Walmart like every other good
American
Canadian.
man.
Amen.
Anyways, you eventually make it over to the international district. Jesus Christ. Any other conversations that are to be had on the road, or any moments that need to be closed up? No?
No.
Cool.
I'm chilling.
Nope. Big chillin'.
Alright, let me get you on the map.
Got my Metallora's bathwater and my What in the World Ankarel Weekly.
Yes.
Oh gosh, I need to take a look at that again.
Where's the next newspaper, Nerd Patrol?
Oh, there should be a new one, shouldn't there?
Is there a little like street urchin handing out newspapers on the corner somewhere?
Also, I would like to confirm for the record, they do sell guns at the Bass Pro Shop.
Oh, perfect.
Oh,
All right,
nice.
we're gonna go there. Head to the pyramid. Get you strapped up.
Bass Pro Pyramid.
Get your chrome. We're good.
Our newspaper's 2 weeks out of date.
2 weeks, or is it just the 1 week?
Uh.
I don't think it's been 2 weeks.
Yeah, we got it on like the 26th.
My internet's fried.
Welcome
Oh,
back.
okay.
We're good.
It's a week out of date.
It's been a week.
Anyways,
Either way, if you want to get a new newspaper from some street urchin on the side of the road, Aerodonis, be 5 copper.
excellent. I'm buying that.
No,
Put it in your
I buy
inventory.
that. I want to buy that too. Give me one. as
Okay,
well.
we'll get
You
2
want
copies.
another?
Or do you want to share the same copy, Arcs?
I gotta have my own copy.
All right,
It's-
sure, okay. Well,
I'm
each of
telling you
us,
right,
each of
it's
each
just
of us
the
contributes.
it's the current edition. You haven't gotten. There's no updated version yet.
Oh,
You haven't
well, you know
gotten
what?
the
I'll
weekly this
support the
point.
local journalism either way. I'm getting a copy.
The next edition's coming the next week.
It's a bi-weekly newspaper. Fascinating.
It's weekly, but I messed it up, and I'll admit that.
It's okay.
It was today's headlines 2 weeks ago.
What breaking news? Anyhow,
Oh, boy. Look, Araz had the paper. Araz just had an early copy for the current week you're in.
Listen, there's one thing I've cared about in this entire city.
Yeah.
And it's the freedom of the press.
one must always consider the freedom of the press.
Well,
Oh my god.
you get a copy of the current paper, Eridonis, and Eric's, I don't assume you buy another copy of the one you already have.
If it's the same one, no, I won't bother.
All right.
Well, I'm still getting one.
Eventually, you make it to your destination, paper in hand. Seeing the district active and lively once more, you enter into your leisure.
Oh goodness, it's her again. Never mind.
Yeah, she works there.
Okay. Eric's would have passed through this area, I recall. He probably just didn't peruse the shops if he went directly to the Step-Aside Tavern.
Mm-hmm. Pass right through.
I'm guessing that's the case, Eric?
Probably.
Okay.
If it's like a main street.
Okay, well...
Oh, God. Okay, above... We got names. We have names now. As requested, we'll get to that. Above this shop is the name. Where is it? International District. The Hopebringer's Roost. You would have known from your talk with Jadad that this is the news writer.
Yep.
This
I
is
guess
the
Hopebringer.
Hopebringer.
We'll talk to Eric's and say, well, according to our friend Jadad, he is here, by the way. Fascinating developments. Apparently this is the place where the newspaper is written. It's even printed.
Jadad from the ship.
Indeed. Eridon's gonna point across the little plaza here.
See a piece of paper, a sign rather, above the door that says Bounty of the Coast.
Is there no one we've met on the mainland that isn't here now? Next you're going to tell me Varen runs the shop.
Very
Well,
unlikely.
This is a very, very large city. Don't discount the possibility. Either way, it is good to see him again. But if you want to find a good hat, they're just going to point over to the hat shop.
The hat shop named the Enchanted Brim.
There are some interesting magical artifacts and perhaps some words of wisdom from the older generation of adventure seekers. Pointing over to the these names all elude me.
Oh, no, these are new, so.
Okay, well, towards the magic item shop.
That would be Mystical Marvels, or Mystic Marvels.
Mystic marvels. And of course, refreshments, I doubt will be here long enough to actually need them.
Albert's Ale House.
Well, I
Albert's Ale
suppose
House.
Hat wouldn't go amiss for weather like this.
It wouldn't. There's quite a variety, too.
But this news place seems interesting. Maybe they have more information on the happenings and goings-on in the city.
I would like to know more about that excavation project.
Well, the door's right there.
Perhaps it wouldn't hurt to give it a small peek, a small talk.
I'll go and knock on the door.
As you knock, you hear, "Come on in!"
Barging in news offices, I guess.
Oh, look how friendly he looks.
Are you? Oh God, is the foundry moving?
Yeah.
What?
Oh,
What?
sweet merciful Christ! My foundry is
What the fuck you
completely.
talking about?
My foundry's frozen right now.
Oh,
Oh.
Time to raid the shops. Let's go.
Hold up,
Yeah,
you!
yeah, let's go, let's go, let's go.
Stop it! Reloading.
Steal all the hats, all the hats.
Nope, yaga booba. As you enter into the Hopebringer's Roost, you see shelves lined with a myriad of different books and ledgers, tomes of varying degree and knowledge, mostly around the history and goings-ons of the city, politically and otherwise. As sitting at a nearby desk, currently writing away at various papers, and having a massive kind of open book in his hand, currently reading through it before closing it and putting it down when you walk in, appears to be a human man, seems to be early 30s, wearing a auspicious hat with a feathered quill in the entire brim of it, into the brim. Otherwise, strange and outlandish attire, almost blue cape and red handkerchief. Adjusting a pair of glasses, he looks over to all of you and says, "How can I help you all today?"
Aerodon's going to hold up the newspaper.
"Ah, you've seen my writings. I can't say we've ever met, but you've met me through one way or another."
Indeed, fascinating prose.
His name is Aerodonus, and mine is Eric's. Pleasure to meet your acquaintance.
Pleasure to meet the two of you. My real name is Albert, though many know me as the Hopebringer.
Well, we do have some questions about some of the things you've discovered. We're rather newcomers to the city, but, well, either way, we do have some questions to ask. I guess Aerodons would look to Eric's first before asking anything.
Well, unlike the other shops in this district, I don't quite sell anything here, but I can provide you knowledge if you're willing. This is a shop I'm renting.
We're after. I take it that you deal more in current events than past histories of the city?
I keep all my old recordings around here, and you see all the books on the different shelves. So, ever since I started and the news anchor that came before me, I would say that we have a well of history here. You should be looking for something specific.
A well might be just what we're looking for.
Very well. Well, how can old Albert help you?
Have you ever come across the name
God.
Elixian before?
Arnurin is his name. I called him Albert because the alehouse keeper right across the street's
I
name
was
is
going to
Albert.
ask
My
if
bad.
it was also...
It's Arnurin.
Okay.
It's all Nurin. My bad.
It's a regional pronunciation.
Yes. Arnurin. Anyway, you were saying Eric's.
Have you ever come across the name Elixian before in your writings?
Oh. I can't say a fellow like that's ever made the news before.
He's
Sorry.
a sort of legend, I suppose. A local from Ankara, or so we've been told.
Local legend? Well, he
Very,
must
very
be before
old
the time
Local
of our...
legend.
He must be before the time of our humble news office here. Unfortunately.
I suppose he would be. Ancient history, as it were.
Oh, ancient history. Well, that's something I don't quite dwell in. Unfortunately.
He did write an article about the all-site excavation project.
Oh, yes. Perhaps you find yourselves concerned, like many of the citizens of this fine city, wondering what could possibly be going on in that mysterious dig site, a quarry that popped up not long ago. Tons of construction equipment and workers came in about a month ago into the city. They worked and worked and worked, and eventually managed to dig out a large pit. Some sort of maw, they called it, I believe. Soon after, it was taken over by the elitists of Allsight. Apparently, it was originally supposed to be some sort of operation, mining, nothing special, but once they hit the bottom and found whatever they did, the city's upper echelon, the Hands of Ord, took over, and shortly after, secured the place, sending in the elitists afterwards, seeming that they are in cahoots with each other at the moment. I tried to get answers from both the king and from the Hands of Ord. The king himself is an incredibly difficult figure to talk to, even of someone of my esteem. However, the Hands of Ord, the Iron Hand, was willing to talk a little. He assured me that everything is safe at the moment and tried to divert my focus more towards the measures he's taking to secure the streets of the city. Did you know? There was a recent attack.
Unfortunately, I did. My friend here was the victim of it.
Oh. Well, I'm talking about something else then, because I've heard about your friend's business, and this is something unrelated. I believe. You see, there was an important prisoner being transported. It was in hushed whispers, and we didn't hear anything about it. However, the cart itself was attacked, not too far out to one of the nearby districts. Hold on here. He pulls out a map and kind of says, I'm sure you're not too familiar with the town, but I've got a map of it right here. Over around the Alluvium district. It was said the prisoner was being transported to some sort of interrogation facility, but on the way there, the cart was attacked by an angry group of no-good ne'er-do-wells. Citizens who, in the past, haven't caused trouble or harm. Spurred in some way or reason. It was spontaneous, and there's even rumors of illegal weaponry being used. All
How
things
long
you'll
ago
hear
was
about in the next
this
press.
prisoner attack?
Not but the other day. I've been right on the case getting information about it. Well, me and my friend.
Did
Oh,
you know
no.
anything about that prisoner?
No. That's information I'm still trying to get. I myself have to go to the site and rediscuss with the Hands of Ord, but I don't imagine it's going to be easy. Not this.
Do you remember what I told you yesterday, Eric's? It might be that. So,
I'm hoping to get more information as we go along.
Out of character, I do not remember.
I had sent you a sending message about Araz getting
Jail.
he escaped essentially. He was supposed to be going somewhere, and then the thing that he was in got attacked. I told you that in the message.
Did I miss something? How did you know that?
How did I know that? Because there was a guard on the that told us about it.
They asked the guard. Quickly though, the news anchor heads back and says, but back to the Maw, the big excavation site. I tried to question the Allegiance leaders about it. The two professors, they were not receptive to questioning in the slightest. They told me to direct any questions I had away for the moment, and assured me that whatever was going on there was safe. But I, as a news collector in this city, know better than that. And I'll be digging into that case soon enough, on top of whatever new information is to come. This has been a very busy time for Ank'Harel, and the Jewel of Hope finds itself almost hopeless these days, which is why we bring information where we can. If you have anything to report, I'll handsomely pay you for any new, up-to-date information.
No, it's not proper for you to reveal a source, but I could report an interesting rumor in exchange.
Depends how interesting the rumor and the question. What source?
Your information on the Allegiance's expedition, and perhaps anything you've heard about the escaped prisoner. Are they... Well, would they happen to be a birdfolk by chance, by the name of Raz?
Not a bird folk, per se, but a bird. He's not here at the moment. I don't think he'll be here for a while. He's currently out collecting news, but it's my co-writer. Huh?
Nothing.
You alright?
Nope, I'm good.
Okay, then. Anyways, my co-writer is this a bird friend of mine, who flies the city collecting information and bringing it back to me. Quite friendly. You'll meet him. The Jeweled Wings. But,
Well, then perhaps you'd be interested interested in learning a little bit more about what goes on behind closed doors at Lux Run Casino.
He sort of puts his book down and opens to a blank page. Would I?
How's everyone else, Brett?
I
Herdos
want
is going
no
to,
part of this.
pinch the bridge of his nose. You know, no part of the contract ever said we couldn't do this.
Well, I'm waiting.
Is Persephone okay, or?
Does
I
Persephone
have
even
no
care?
stake in this game.
You questionably do, given it was given said business behind closed doors was directly led to you being pulled out of whatever horrible void you're in. But I digress.
Well, we have a first-hand account, and I suppose walking proof. Not that we share that much information. Getting straight to the point, there's a demon that takes up residence in the casino on the second floor, and if you have the right connections, you can make an appointment with him. It seems that he'll offer you all sorts of magical boons and gifts if you only do small tasks for him here and there. He goes by the name of Darby.
You know, I, from time to time, go to the Lux Run Casino. Whenever I want to have a nice new environment to write in, I like to peruse the city and all its locations, and I've heard of this Darby figure before, but a demon, you say, and a powerful one at that. What a outlandish but interesting proposal you make. What proof have you, if any? I am curious.
We have his demonic contracts, for one.
Oh my god.
A contractor, you say? Well, I guess I'm gonna have to close the book and gather some information on this.
Do tread carefully, though. Darby has a habit of disappearing people who displease him or go against his contract.
I see. Maybe this is information better left in the hands of the casino owner. I'll talk with him and see what we can figure out.
Information better left with the hands of Ord, perhaps. I know that their leader likes to spend many days at his leisure at the casino as well.
The Iron Hand being there was more of a recent development. I wasn't able to get to the top floor. They bought it out for a meeting. Getting to talk with the Hands of Ord is tricky, especially with Sem claiming he's so busy. But maybe, just maybe, if any of you are interested, seeing as you're apparently so on the case with interesting topics, some badges might be lying around, and we might be looking for some junior investigators to gather information on these sorts of things. As you said, this is a dangerous business that you guys find yourselves in, and I myself am not fit for such. Should you gather any interesting news or information that you can back up with proof, or any outlandish claims that would just look good in the news, I would love to pay you all for such work. For this, actually, he pulls out a satchel of gold, counts out some coins, and places them on the table. This is going to make a good story. Take this. It should be around 200 gold. Consider it a present for our continued cooperation. The news pays very well in this city.
I can't accept. I can't speak for my friends, but, well, it was an exchange of information.
Of course, but, like I said, I offer this as a motivation for continued work. You can take it or leave it. It's up to all of you.
Make the news headlines rather than report them.
Well, I haven't heard of your names yet.
You haven't been to Basazan, I imagine.
That I haven't. Well, he kind of just says, if none of you are going to take this, then here you go. Hands it over to you.
Thanks.
Of course. If there's anything else I can help you with, please let me know. Otherwise, I have some feet on the ground I need to get to. I need to investigate this attack. My bird friend has told me of this, as I'm able to get information really quickly, but I myself still need to go there myself and see what I can find. It's a dangerous place, so I'll keep myself quiet. Kind of tips his hat down. Thank you for your information, and I hope to be seeing you all again soon.
Take care now.
You as well.
What do you all make of this Ma?
What?
Well, it certainly is interesting. I do wonder if we might be able to try to pull some strings to take a look. Something in there clearly has them all scared.
And this Elixion we're looking for is in
Somewhere
some
underground.
dark underground place.
We should investigate it. It has been drawing my attention recently, but the question still remains how? How to get in there. Prolix, I believe, had said that he was planning to head over to this city as well, wasn't he?
And I suppose Prolix owes us a favor after what we've done for him.
A bit more than a favor. Perhaps pulling some strings to get us in there. Check out this maw.
Though you may have to return his bracelets.
Yeah. I've been kind of avoiding that. I'll be honest.
Well, I wonder, do you think we might be able to find any trace of where those, the assassins' involvements in that attack on the prison transport? Something tells me it could only be them who would be interested in seeing our eyes broken out.
Well, he
illegal
mentioned
weapons too.
he mentioned
We would
that
have
they
to speak with the guards.
but he mentioned that they looked like regular people, so we just have to assume that our friend that can take faces just decided to look like some random nobody to do it.
Either way, perhaps we should go.
Yep.
Check it out, see if there's any trace that we left behind.
We have to get gear first.
Oh, indeed, I don't plan on facing off against that woman unprepared again. Alright, let's see here. I got all these shops
shop.
already open.
Karma, you're looking at this door. This
Yeah.
is a very simple sign. Nowina's Bakery.
Bakery.
Mm-hmm.
Boob.
Yes.
My cat is being a menace. Yeah. I want to get left behind.
And I'll walk into the milliner's hut again, and she speaks to you all and says, welcome back. Have you come with more interests? It seems a new friend as well.
Yeah, he hasn't been here yet, so.
Well, please be my guest. Peruse around, and if there's anything you like, then let me know. We have all sorts of magical hats and brims.
Told that your stock is very high quality.
Only the highest hats in town.
I'm gonna peruse.
Be my guest if you have access to the shop.
The Fahrenheit hat.
Huh?
The
Oh my
Fahrenheit hat. Either way. Hey,
Oh
I
my.
at least gave him decent forewarning. Wow, you bought that immediately. Holy.
Reasonable. If there's any modifications you need made to any of these hats for yourselves, let me know. Colors, aesthetic changes, they're possible. As long as they're not too crazy.
Is it possible to fasten a wider brim to this one?
Of course. And I'll see what I can do.
I'm still not used to the harsh, sunny weather that this place receives.
Ah, that's a common thing. We carry a lot of hats with very large brims just because of that reason. This is something I'm very familiar with. I'll get to it. Keep looking around in the meantime.
And perhaps you could fashion some holes to go over my horns.
Oh, yes. I'll have to get measurements, though. Give me a moment. She'll start gathering tools while you're all looking around to gather what she can.
Oh, lucky there's. I might be here for a little while if you want to peruse the other shops.
Oh, thanks.
Monetarily challenged. Dang. Party broke.
Monetarily challenged.
Broke crew.
Moonbeam.
Yeah.
When a creature. Oh. I don't know.
You could discuss in or out of character if you would like, since no roleplay is happening at the moment.
I haven't actually visited the forge yet. I don't know if I was even there. I think I wasn't there for that whole interaction. So I'm not sure what's there.
As Eric said, they do kind of get pricey.
Oh, okay. I think I might have to see their stock then. Unless someone wants to buy my cursed red rock.
Oh my god, I won't do that.
I mean, you know that the magic store owner did buy cursed items, just for a reduced price. Which the price reduction is already applied to the item itself.
Holy moly.
Holy moly.
Oh, I could sell the stone then, but then I'd also be sad. But is my sadness worth 800 gold coins?
Probably.
Or
What stone are you talking about?
I'm talking about the cursed stone of
the
good
definitely
weapon.
great and useful curse that has come into play multiple times.
The curse that nerd forgets to use every so
No,
often.
don't worry, it's gonna happen. Hey, Adonis, I need you to make me a perception check right now.
It's not attuned to me. It's not attuned to me. I don't have it attuned.
It's still the curse still applies to you as long as you have
Okay,
it.
fine.
I need you to make me a perception.
Perception check. Okay, hold on.
Yeah,
I
you
got
fail.
seconds.
I need to check. Auto fail because of the curse. See, already coming.
I suddenly start blinking. If it's I guess you see Adonis start blinking, all of a sudden like rubbing his eyes, like.
Whoa, chat, clip
Are
that.
you
It's the first
good?
time.
Okay. I think I've. Nothing. I think.
Okay.
Nothing. It's just my eyes.
Did you get some sand in it or something?
Perhaps. I feel like I must be getting tired. I'm starting to lose sight even when I'm awake.
3 p.m.
Well, when those two argue, it starts to feel like more of an eternity. And I know a thing or two about eternity. 500 years, maybe even more. Anyways.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, Fenzara, what magical items do you currently have? And do you feel like you use the moonbeam hat?
Would I use it? Depends on the situation. But sure.
I guess just do you have a lot of concentration spells already?
Let me click this button.
That's the only thing that I am
1, 2, 3, 5,
hesitant about is that I use Hex a lot, so I don't know if I'd be able to
7.
really get the full use of Moonbeam.
I currently have 8 concentration spells.
Do you use any frequently?
I mean, decently. Again, it just depends on the situation.
Okay, maybe I'll hold off on the hat then. I don't know. Since it seems like, I guess we don't know if we'll use it much. In the meanwhile, what else? I gotta visit Jadad and catch up with him. Oh my god.
Or
I gotta go. Oh, I should. Oh, it's fine. I'll rep his business later to the newspaper.
oh my god. Okay.
God, I'm a terrible friend.
What? What are you doing?
Nothing. I was gonna I told Jadad I was gonna help rep his business to the newspaper stand guy, but then
Go run over
I forgot.
there. Go
I'll go there later.
Go right now. We got time.
Oh, sure, yeah.
We're
hold up.
here.
If you guys are okay, if it's gonna take that long.
I gotta get holes cut in my hat.
All right. Head back into the news office, and Arnerin looks to you one more time.
Some developments, I suppose, that might be of interest to you.
Ready.
This is more to do with some more mercantile business. Have you heard of the... there's a new arrival to this international district. Happens to be the gentleman who's just across from you.
Oh, I've heard. So you're interested in advertising?
Well, have you heard the man's story?
Yes, I do believe I've been informed. Across the sea. It's interesting, but hardly the most interesting thing I've heard.
Well, either way, I wish to do a good turn by the gentleman. He is a friend of sorts. Tell you this. You had mentioned that you'd be willing to pay for any kind of useful information.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say that if I'm able to bring you back some information concerning this maw, or perhaps the attack that came upon that prison transports, that in return for you receiving a fascinating news story concerning pressing events here in this beautiful city of yours, you could also perhaps put in a good word for a dear friend who's down on his luck after having lost everything. An exchange.
All right. You do that for me, and we'll see what we can do. It's not like I haven't advertised business before. A service for a service.
I must thank you on adding in that piece about Cook and his donuts.
An interesting local figure for some time now, but also one that had quite enough money to pay for this advertisement. Trust me, I didn't do it just out of the kindness of my own heart. As good as the donuts were.
How much would such an advertisement cost, I must ask?
It depends on the moment. For this one, for your friend Jadad, he's a small business owner, and I do respect locals. You do this job for me, give me something interesting, we'll consider it squared, but if you're looking just to pay for it, probably around 500 gold. Like I said, news sells like hotcakes in this city. I'm in league with some big producers. We get our word out fast, and we make a lot off of it. This is just a small office. I own a few properties.
take you up on that exchange. But
All
for
right.
now, if I am going to get that information, well, I must keep my companions waiting. Nor you. I suppose keep an ear out, and I should be back soon.
As well.
Okay, we need to check out that maw. I gotta do it for my boy Jadad.
All right. In the meantime, Eric's, eventually as time goes on, if you aren't buying anything else, your hat is fitted and prepared for you. Matching your specifications with slight adjustments, it fits like a glove. And it's comfortable. Though perhaps a little showy.
Perfect. Just what the doctor ordered.
You already feel yourself more inspired and confident already.
Now I feel ready to take on the weather. Let's go. We've got a whole day of shopping ahead of us.
Right?
Alright,
No
where are you
one-
guys headed?
Once
I
again,
am
no one
going to be-
closes the door.
Terrible.
Actually, nerd, the last time we went shopping, you said that it was an open door policy during the day.
Actually, that's for this shop and this shop. Not this one. Anyways. Along you all go. Where to next?
Are these buildings anything? I don't know if they
Holy
are.
moly.
No, they are not. They are side pieces. They're just
Well,
homes. People
You
live there.
know, if we do want to quickly talk to my benefactors, I could buy this portable hole and stick it inside of Persephone's
God,
bag
yeah.
of holding.
Eridanus is already at the.
You want to die?
Oh my
Not gonna
God.
kill it. It's not
Eridanus
gonna
is already
kill
at the
us.
magical
You're just gonna get to see. You're just gonna get to see my crib for the last couple of years.
Jesus Christ.
Okay, everybody, we have to run. Jump in the portable hole. Persephone jumps in. Ah!
Bro, where are we running to? It's a hole.
You gotta dump in. It's like Alice in the Wonderland. You go whoop.
And
Everyone
get stuck
gets
in the
magic
astral
of
plane forever.
And jump right into the astral sea.
Jesus Christ.
Oh god, that's probably how Rodonus got there in the first place.
Mm-hmm. You head back into the shop, and Shira will look to you and say, "Ah, you're back.
Indeed, I am.
Pleasure to see you again."
I brought some more interested customers this time around. Well,
So I
the one
see.
more.
Yes. You guys gearing up for something special?
I suppose we are.
Tell me about it. Maybe I can help. I know some people in the city who might be able to give you something. Or you might be able to purchase from. High quality equipment and all.
Well, I guess Eric's.
Since you're
Eric's with
returning
Eric's.
customers.
You want me to just spill the beans? Because I will.
Not spill the beans. I meant, oh my god. I meant on this what equipment we need.
If you let Eric talk, I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, assassin.
Okay, no. Eridanus will just butt in, realizing that we're about to open a can of worms and just say, now that you mention it, we are sorely in need of some equipment. Eric's here finds himself in need of, I suppose, another sword, perhaps? And, well, we might also need some potions. I remember you had a couple in stock.
A few, but I am by no means an alchemist. As I said, I'm just an ex-adventurer. But I, as an ex-adventurer, do know a few places around town you might be able to fit yourselves with new gear. There's a few places. Here and there. One that's pretty well known. Though I have to remember the name. No. Yes. I have one friend in the city who is an alchemist, a bird fellow, very colorful. He's been trying to sell this new coffee he's been making. I could show you where he is sometime, and maybe you could go check his shop out, but besides that, there's the Gilmore's shop. Though that's a bit more general goods.
The Gilmore shop.
Yes. How familiar are you with other major cities throughout the world?
Besides Rukva and Bansazan?
Phew. Yeah, that won't do it. There's a franchise. You see it a lot in some of the major cities, and it's forever spreading, but it's called Gilmore's Glorious Goods. They sell all sorts of magical menagerie, and weapons, equipment. Though, usually they don't sell you specifically what you're looking for. They're always in stock with something you can use. It might be worth checking it out. One of their bigger stores is located here in the city. I've been there a few times.
Thank you for the recommendation. I'm not sure what a franchise is, but it sounds enticing.
It just means that this Gilmore fellow sells in a lot of places, and you might not ever meet him. That's basically the gist of it. At least for the uninformed. But I digress. If there's anything I have that you can use, then don't hesitate to let me know.
I'm gonna purchase that potion of greater healing for $125.
Of course. Dollary dues right out of your pocket.
And I don't think this superior one is worth buying, right, party? Because it's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money, and also I'm really considering the Amulet of the Drunkard, but it's also going to give you exhaustion, so no. Either way. Oh, thank you, Shara. It's been a great help.
Of course. Either way, in the meantime, she'll mark the locations of the Alchemist and the Gilmore's shop, and by next session they'll be on the map.
Persephone, on the subject of clothes, Eridon is going to take off. He's going to give Persephone his furred hat and his cloak of elven kind. Because I don't think he has any other clothes with him besides the ones that are on his back.
I'll pass on the hat, but this is Varen's, isn't it?
Yes, but perhaps it'll help. Perhaps you'll get more use out of it. If only to hide from any, if only to hide from the gaze of the broader public concerning your current state of dress.
Great way to put that.
I do have a way
Thanks,
with
sir.
words.
I appreciate
Let me remove that from my inventory.
it.
Boom, just like that.
I'll put it in.
Yep.
Slick, clean, no problems at all.
I just said, hey, you look like shit. I don't want to see your bum ass fit. Here, have a cloak that makes you. Have a cloak that helps you hide. God, Eridon.
Did you remove it from your inventory?
Yeah, I removed it. God, Eridon is the
dang.
greatest friend of all time. Oh, sorry, was that? Oh, sorry.
No, you're fine. I just have to go get a new one. It's alright. Did it have any special text in it, or was it just
No, it was just a cloak of
Alright.
elven kind, from what I remember.
Cool.
All
Okay,
right,
then.
let's go then. We need to get some people some new weapons, and I got to check out the Whole Foods, I suppose, of this world.
Whole Foods.
Well, the Gilmore.
Yeah,
Goddamn.
Gilmer. Gilmer's
Yeah,
glorious
yeah.
goods.
Less of a Whole Foods and more of a giant tiger.
I will say, it's gonna bother me to no end if we don't ever look at this shop over here.
Which one?
The
It's
bakery.
the one all the way on the right.
The
Oh, that's a
bakery.
bakery? Okay, I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
We're fine.
Oh my god.
Are you sure?
Oh, he learned it's a bakery. Oh no.
I knew it was a bakery, but I figured for the sake of posterity, Eridos is going to go on with our business. But if it does entice you so much, Eridanos could hear his stomach rumble again and realize he, if you so wish, I'm just saying, he's a hungry boy.
30 minutes ago, you can wait.
What about
To the
second
jewel of
breakfast?
What do we look like, halflings?
We're going over here.
hope.
Wow.
One of you.
Wow.
So your group's next destination is the Suncut Bazaar.
Yep.
All right.
Look, what if Eridanos just got reincarnated instead of getting resurrected, and he actually happened to be a halfling in a previous life? You don't know that.
Wow.
You know what I don't know? It's how much trouble one group of people can cause in one bazaar.
We were so nice there. We did not do a single thing out of turn. You should be happy. You should be proud of us right now.
Okay.
Let's get to the Suncut Bazaar before we open up any more angst.
God. Hopefully there's no spectator tokens. You'll let me know.
We won't.
Okay.
I will.
Good. Good to hear someone's out there for me.
I'm in your corner, nerd, except for when I'm not.
Good to hear.
This road gives me anxiety.
Hey guys, let's go check out our old inn.
Damn, did we pay for the... No. Eric's did, I believe.
Yeah, I paid for the damage. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Cleaning up after you guys.
What the
Okay,
fuck?
I'm sure the barkeep understands. He literally saw us get stabbed in the street. Okay, where to? Oh, yes. Boom.
I did have to stop here to pick something up, if I remember correctly.
What did you order?
I think I gave her my orc grumpy spear to do something with.
Oh boy, I need to remember what you did.
I don't remember.
Oh no, nowhere in your notes.
I must destroy that little fire spirits.
Oh,
No!
What are you looking at, little buddy?
Got a staring problem?
Fuck you. God.
I just stare it down, it disappears.
Either way,
Sinks into the pile.
as you approach
Oh,
in the
blur.
the Furbolg shopkeep speaks to you and says, you all, is there anything I can help you all with? You were here before. I believe you had some sort of orator. But, here. In the meantime, while we think about that, how about I let you see what we've got in stock at the moment? Looks back to the fire spirits. Fu, do you mind... just help me get this place organized? Sorry, guys, it's a mess.
It's alright. I've seen worse.
Thank
The
goodness.
elementals back home didn't keep a tidy forge as this.
The shop is now open. At least for pre-selected supplies.
Huh. Oh.
They got that fey grass, yeah.
Wait a minute. Calm emotions. Oh my goodness.
I let Moof create this shop while I wasn't looking.
Smoldering breastplate. The legs unprotected.
Plenty of fun things.
She's
to
giving
say.
away a free brand.
Did I
just
not?
sold
Oh
didn't put
no! I didn't
prices.
set
I got
prices.
this.
Oh darn! Don't buy them.
You see, nerd, I'm in your corner.
He got the
Okay.
fey
Damn, a
grass.
free tanker to sobriety?
No,
Is that
I know, I
what
gotta get
no.
my hands on that. Just give me
Dang!
the,
Hold on.
a
Oh
pipe
my
of
god.
smoke monster?
Okay. Don't buy anything. Don't buy anything. That just tell me if you're interested in any of it, and I'll tell you what the price is.
Okay,
I'm-
pipe of smoke
Oh my
monsters.
god.
Buy
I-
the grass.
I was slacking. I'm so sorry.
The Feygrass
The Feygrass is
does
fine.
cost money.
That pricing is fine.
Pipe of smoke monsters.
Okay, the Pipe of Smoke Monsters. Let me remember what that does by reading it, because it's the first time. It's a good creature. Fine. This would be 15 gold.
Well, that's a bargain. I'll take it.
All right, let me go ahead and hold on. Let me make some adjustments to it and actually put a price on it. There you go. You can buy it now.
Oh my god! But I already have another crack pipe, don't I?
You can never have enough crack pipes. I'm gonna try and set prices while I'm going along here.
Oh my god! The pipe of remembrance could have literally solved all of Eridonis's problems for the last 10 sessions with his amnesia. I could have just gone to Ankaro and bought this pipe and remembered everything, or the most important things.
Something delicate wooden pipe, smooth rivet, slingering 10 myths, smoke forms, moving shapes that reenact the bear's most impressive and heroic achievements for 5 minutes.
I would like to buy the potions of healing, if that's all right.
Where are they? Oh,
There's 3 of them.
Unless you
Let me make
guys
sure
allow
they're.
it.
Let me make sure the prices are set properly. 50 gold, those are correct.
All right, I'm gonna buy all of them.
oh, okay. I was gonna.
Right.
Okay.
I'm just retroactively setting prices right now, so if there's anything specific you want to know, feel free, but I'm getting these set up.
Well, I
Buying
think
the
I'm
party.
good here. When an attacker makes a ranged attack against a target within 5 feet of you, well, we are the targets of plenty of ranged attacks. I could see the utility of that.
I
Keep those
also have
arrows.
something that could help, but it's a spell slot, so.
Well, I think I'm going to just mosey on out of here.
To the petting, the fire spirit reacts in kind.
I'm gonna kneel down next to the little guy and say, in primordial, "Hey, little buddy, what's your name?"
He understands but cannot speak.
Eridonis is going to swivel around and look in confusion at Eric's.
You see
It's,
Eric petting the elemental on the top of its flaming head.
Gonna say, yeah, it's like a stoked piece of coal with living flame on it and an animated face. It seems to speak back to you an almost crackling flame, though you can get a general sense of tone from it speaking that it's pretty happy.
I didn't realize Eric's also spelled primordial. I think
You
this
asked-
might be the first time
You asked what
I've
its
seen
name
him.
was?
Yeah.
Fleur will look over to you and say, "Oh, his name is Fu. He's a friend of mine. Met him a long time ago, but been a good business partner since."
I suppose he has, hasn't he?
Mm-hmm. Great for conversations, an amazing listener.
Well, we should be going. We've got a busy day ahead of us.
While we've been in here, Persephone has just kind of been slinking to the corner of the room for various different reasons that surround her. So your name is Fleur, right?
Yep, that would be me.
You know another forge in town?
Another forge. There's the Sunfire Forge, and well, that might just be about it. There's a few other places, but nowhere close. All the way in the other end of the city.
Any of them let you rent out?
Say that again?
Any of them let you rent out?
Well, it depends on what you're trying to do. I mean, if you're looking for a forge to use yourself, I could let you rent this place for a bit. I might even be able to help you. I do custom orders. That's my specialty. Not really great at preparing a bunch of stuff, but hey, working on the fly, I can get that done.
Not looking for help, just a place to work.
Like a job?
No. Person,
Ah.
custom.
Right then. Well, so long as you clean up the place after you're done, once we get this place settled, you can come back here later tonight and use it. I should be heading home by then anyways.
How much do I owe you?
I'm assuming you'll be bringing your own materials, right?
How much material do I need to solve the problems I'm having?
Not much. You'd be able to pick things up pretty easily. Especially since you would know what to get. With
Cool.
your help.
Should be fine. I'll figure it out.
Alrighty, then in that case, just go ahead and give me 75 gold for the night.
You got it. How's that? 60. Boop, boop, boop. There we go. 75.
Awesome. Alright. Well, try not to get yourselves in too much trouble and avoid being burned.
Yeah. Thanks. Get me out of here. Get me out of here. Fucking walking fire.
She has a burden on her too,
She
on her
takes
neck.
custom orders.
Yes. Specifically.
Wait, there's literally a shield right there. Hold on, can I just... Is this... Oh no, this is probably the arrow catching shield. Huh?
Yeah, probably.
Yep.
Never mind. Does she sell any normal shields?
Says, do you want a normal shield?
I could use some kind of a board to put between me and arrows, bullets. Well, you... Wait, is it on your back? Is it actively on you?
I have a shield.
Yeah, but you
It's
need
not
that more than
magical.
me.
What the fuck
You
am
need
I
that
gonna
more than
use
me.
with it? I'm not proficient in it.
Why are you carrying a shield
I just
then?
have it.
What? Oh my god.
I could sell you a shield if you want.
Eridon's is going to look over to the halfling with a shield that's probably as big as her torso, just sitting there uselessly, probably dangling from her back for months now.
It's-
Weeks.
I look like a turtle.
I might have to get back to you on those custom orders, as a matter of fact. Thank you for the offer, though, but I think I have a friend I need to speak with.
Of course. Anytime, any place. I'll be around.
Eridon's gonna say farewell to the Fire Spirit and Primordial as well before ducking out.
Waves to you. And she says farewell as well in Primordial.
Well, do you all want to visit Pick and Garbanzo before we leave?
Yes, I actually had in mind to go there. And, Penzira,
Mm-hmm.
that shield you're carrying on your back,
Uh-huh.
do you know how to wield it?
No, but I've been carrying it just in case one of you needs it.
I think I find myself in need of it. I'm tired of getting shot with things.
Well, it's not doing any use on my back, so you can have it.
Shield acquired. Nothing can touch Eridanis now.
Warlock learns he needs shield proficiency.
I have shield proficiency.
He's a big, strong man with those 8 strength points.
I have medium armor and shield
I'll
proficiency.
drag the shield into your inventory and remove it from Penzira's.
Yippee.
And swoop. You have a shield now.
Alright, that's it. I'm unstoppable now.
The bulwark of warlockness.
I'm painting a cool ass heraldry on this thing when I get the chance. Anyways. Don't do it, Eridanis.
Go for it. There's all kinds of free stuff in there.
Where are you going?
I'm doing it.
God
Go on
damn it.
without me.
Buy another deck of cards if you can.
Ah.
Alazakam. Anyways, in the meantime, the three of you head to Pick and Garbanzo's shop. As you enter in, you notice Pick, but Garbanzo mysteriously away at the moment. Pick kind of looks to you and says, hello,
Hello again.
again?
Yes.
Hello again.
Hello again.
Hello again.
We're interested in purchasing some more knickknacks if you have the mind to sell them.
More knickknacks? No. Garbanzo out at the moment. Collecting. But old stuff still here. Plenty of knacks and nicks.
I'll make a show of perusing the shelves, picking up a few things.
So they're mostly, for the sake of it, you did buy a lot of the stuff last time. Most of the shelves are currently empty, despite what the map might imply.
He has 2 things left in his inventory.
He does. You guys bought him out of house and
he's gonna
home the
have
last
one
time you
a
were here.
horrible-
in his inventory, I'm
a
afraid.
horrible storm called Eridanis came through his shop and just took everything.
now the Last of Us stuff's getting taken by Persephone. So they'll be restocked next time you visit.
So if we leave the door and then come back in.
No.
Okay, guys, I know how this works. Quick save, punch him, reload.
Oh my god.
No, we just gotta stand outside and fast forward 8 hours and his shop will be restocked.
But take a look around, pick up the funny pair of glasses, bring them
In
over.
a couple minutes, Eric's will leave.
Any nice
How much is
glasses?
How much are these?
100 gold.
Yeah, take it.
Thank you. Enjoy.
You can haggle.
I gotta go after. No, I have somebody else I have to worry about.
What the fuck?
Eridanis. While your party is making a very brief stop at picking Garbanzo's shop, you enter in and the halfling jumps up on his chair, throwing his staff up into the air, pointing to the sky. Welcome, friends, to Alazakam's Emporium of Wonders. How can I help you today, newcomer?
Well, I believe one of my companions had come here before, and he seemed to have been well served by some of your wonders as they are.
No, wait. Closes his eyes and thinks, I know this. You are friends with the purple tiefling.
Eridanis is going to smirk a little bit. Unfortunately, I was friends with the short and blue Triton.
Oh well, it was a 50-50. Regardless, welcome, welcome, welcome. I sell many goods here, many goods indeed. Incredibly low prices, prices you'll never see anywhere else, practically free. However, though gold might not be how you pay, each of these items carries a great and terrible price that you must pay with it. A price
quite
I cannot
familiar.
disclose.
You know what? I enjoy suffering. Let's take up Halazakam on this. So,
I have his inventory written down. I have some items here. I'm going to have to read them out to you, though,
okay.
if that's all good.
You have to read Alazakam's voice.
All right.
Please.
The first item we have are the boots of blinding speed. They make you run at the speed of light. However, they come with a great and terrible price. The next item are the goggles of retrospection. Whenever you find yourself failing, forgetting, or perhaps missing something throughout the day, say you're looking for... say you find yourself searching around for, I don't know, your favorite breakfast fork in the morning, and you lose it. Later in the day, these goggles will show you what you missed. In retrospect, of course. However, they come with a great and terrible price. Next, we have the Ring of Perception. I'll let you take a guess what that does.
I presume it allows me to perceive things I would otherwise miss.
Something like that. Anyways. Next are the Saint's Bones. A rattling box of bones. Whenever someone nearby you lies, these bones will alert you. However, they come with a great price. Next, we have the Scroll of Arcane Comet, a great and powerful magic scroll capable of aiding you in battle. However, it comes with a great and terrible price. Following forward, we have the Book of Secrets, a mysterious and elusive tome. You may ask it questions about another creature, another person, perhaps. Do you think your wife is cheating on you? That your best friend went gambling without you one night? Well, this book will let you know. However, it does come with a great and terrible price. We're getting to the end, but next is the Lead Horse. A magical little figurine. Touch it to anything, and it instantly triples its weight. And I do mean anything. However, there is a price. Next, we have this bag of beans here. Take a bean out of this bag, throw it to the ground, and it will grow into something miraculous. Or something great and terrible. This here is a moon sickle. It increases your strength and makes you a ferocious beast in battle. However, it comes with a great price. And lastly, the antlers of the beastkin, which allow you to transform yourself into a powerful forest monster. With a great price. And that, my friend, is my entire current stock. If you would like, I can post the list, and you can,
Let's take a look at the list, but also, how much for the lead horse?
The Lead Horse. Sorry, I just gotta post this. Don't have rarities on
Nice
3 of those.
color.
Huh? Huh?
What?
Huh?
What?
Huh?
Huh?
Said something
Huh?
about color.
Yeah, it's a nice text color.
Radical.
Radical.
Don't insult my text color now. We're gonna have problems if you do that. So, settle that now. Now that bug is squashed for now. The Lead Horse, he says, "For you, my friend, a small, small price of 40 gold."
Oh, with a bargain like that, I'll take it.
Why, of course. Let me get the item and remove the great and terrible price before you read it. I'm going to put it in your inventory. Don't look at it immediately, please.
Okay,
That is my ask of you.
gotcha. Great and terrible price.
It is. Shwoop. And the great cost will not be listed quite yet. You'll figure that out in time. Alrighty. It does weigh 40 pounds when you get it, by the way. It is significantly heavier when he slides it across the table. Here you go. You should be able to lug this around.
Eridanus nearly throws his back out as he takes it.
Right in the old backpack. You're crushing plates of full food that are in your back.
They're all gone at this point, thankfully. But
Wow.
it's like, so it's a figurine like the size of my other figurines here, or the statuettes.
See this right here? About that
yeah.
big. It's quite big.
Oh, okay, that's actually. I see. I could probably just pick this thing up and throw it at someone that'll be fairly useful too.
If you could throw it, most certainly. Anything else that catches your interest?
I want to take all of these, but I know I'm going to be virtually useless in the field once I with all these items. No, Eridanus is gonna bow out and say, I think one great and terrible price is enough for me.
Oh,
Thank
my
you, though.
friend, you haven't seen the most of it. I implore you. Just one more.
I really must.
You can always
be
use a little
going.
more spice in your life.
I've spiced plenty enough in my life as it stands. But if this great and terrible price doesn't turn out to be too great and terrible, perhaps I might come back in the future to peruse more of your wares.
Well, let us hope, then. Goodbye, my friend, and I hope to see you again soon. Or not, should the great and terrible price enact its revenge. You hear him say as you're actively walking out the door and closing it on him.
And with his words still echoing in my ears, I appear back out onto the streets, lugging a humongous horse made of lead.
So what great and terrible price did you pay to have to carry that thing around?
Well, I suppose one can hope that the sheer weight of this thing is a great and terrible price in of itself. Well, apparently
Hey,
this
just,
thing will...
lug that around the rest of the day.
I have plenty of other things to lug around here.
Do you want to go drop that off at the inn before we continue on further?
I must.
Hey, you can just put it in the bag. That's what it's for.
I have a terrible idea now that you reminded me of a bag of holding.
What does that mean?
Nothing. I will put it in the bag of holding.
Practically weightless.
Alright, should I set the item weight to 0 then for now?
Yep.
Okay. Thank you, Dungeon
Just write it
Master.
down somewhere.
It's just gonna be a proximity curse. It's gonna hit me.
You gotta pull it out and use it. It has a command word if you've read it.
Yep.
Well.
Wait, the command... Oh, okay. The command word is... Oh, man. Interesting. Okay, just don't say the word. I can't even say the word to Persephone. I'm gonna telepathically tell
If
Persephone.
you're not holding it. If you're not holding it, it's fine.
Okay, well, I'm gonna tell Persephone. Okay, well, I'll tell Persephone verbally then. Just avoid the use of the word nay. You should be fine.
Wasn't gonna say that anyway.
It's not the word nay. You gotta like neigh like a horse.
Oh, that's all what... Okay.
Mhm.
Why are we going back the way we came?
We gotta go around on that street over there. Spot.
It's the fastest way to the Bastion of Ord.
The side of the map you leave on is irrelevant, but yes. All roads lead to Rome. That's what I'll say. Oh my god, there you guys go.
Sure do.
Speeding along like zipping at the speed of sound. Zip zam zaboom. Alright, back to the streets. The Jewel of Hope.
Get this shopping episode on the move.
Oh yeah, of course. Heading to your next destination, you pass by the Indalus Skyport. You see a few ships are taking off and leaving and porting every once in a while. It seems that, for the moment, they've found some sort of replacement, though it's definitely not as actively busy as you remember it being. Regardless, eventually you make it to the Bastion of Ord. The Ord Bastion. Arriving, many guards, as per usual, patrol the area. However, it seems a little lighter on this day than it was before. Before we get into the full description of it, since Eridonis is doing that, I might as well say we just go ahead and take a 5-minute break before we get into it. For the sake of us all, I'll be right back in a jiffy. In a jiffy and a jam.
Hey, you know what's funny? If we'd waited one day to revive Persephone, we could have just gone to the Star Silver Hall and done it normally.
Full
Now that,
story, bro.
The herbs and stuff for the shipment.
There's no telling you if we would have passed by this place another time. A mystery, the machinations of time is, it flows and it ebbs. We could not have predicted.
Okay, but
Also,
you're a chrono genius.
95% chance that it started going again once I was revived and not a second before.
Yeah. There's that too.
anyone can stop the ebb and flow of time, it'd be Fensira.
Not yet. Welcome back. We're taking a few-minute break because Nerd wanted to go get something.
Uh-huh.
Talking to the schizophrenia demons again?
Ooh, what?
You?
I'm in there, Adonis.
The schizophrenia demons.
Okay. Alright. I forgot who I was talking to.
Yep.
Sometimes you just have to get down to Keaton's level to understand.
Yeah, I forgot.
Let me tell you, I'm down here at rock bottom and I am chilling.
Short.
I'm not taking that from you. 5'3" looking ass.
At least I'm not at rock bottom. So what are we doing in here again? I forgot already.
Getting our hands on Raza's stuff.
No.
Alright, yeah.
And perhaps, if we're lucky,
Acquiring. Oh.
you can ask the wizard to get us an audience with the king. It's a long shot, but
You can try,
get the
buddy.
ball rolling.
I will give you my verbal consent to try. There are no guarantees that it works.
I was making myself a rum and coke earlier, and I ran out of the cheap rum. And so I had to supplement it with, like, the opposite of cheap rum. It's like a 12-year scotch.
Oh boy.
Why would you do that to the scotch?
I know, right? I already had, like, a glass with, like, a tiny bit of rum in it and a lot of coke. And I wanted
Just-
to water down the coke.
Don't just use literal water. Don't use a 12-year scotch.
But then I just have, like, watered down coke with a tiny bit of rum in it. And what's the point?
You had no other alcohol you could have used.
Okay, so I do have other alcohol, but it might be worse. I have a maple cream liqueur. I have Jaeger in the freezer. And then I have like a mint liqueur of some kind.
Those all sound interesting.
Oh, I think I have like a dark chocolate liqueur too. Combine that with the mint one, and you can make like something called a snow bear shot, where it's like half and half mint and chocolate. It's so good. But with rum and coke mixed in, I don't know if that will hold up. But anyway, long story short, I ruined a 12-year scotch.
I need to get to cracking. I gotta get my hands on some blue curacao. You ever had a porn star shooter?
I think so.
I love those. Managed to get my hands on some sourpuss liqueur now that the LCBO strike recently ended. What I gotta do is get my hands on some blue curacao and I am set.
Blue curacao and raspberry liqueur, right?
Yeah. That's how I'm spending my Friday night. I gotta go to Guelph on Monday and Tuesday.
I gotta say, I think I started a terrible birthday tradition with a couple of friends, where whenever it's one of our birthdays now, we're gonna go to either Montreal or Toronto or Ottawa, like whoever's hometown, get like 3 or 4 guys together, and go on. It's kind of like a bar crawl, but it's like we pick a starting location at some bar, and we pick an ending location on the other end of the city, and we get one drink at every place that serves alcohol between the start location and the end location.
You should do it on College Street.
Yeah, exactly. So it's College Street last year. This year we were in Montreal. We went down, I think we started on William Street, and then we went down McGill, and then we ended up basically on St. Catherine Street.
Ooh.
But you don't make it too far. You make it to about like maybe 10 different bars or locations, and then you're stumbling around and you're like, we have to go back and watch TV for 2 hours before we can function again.
That does sound like an interesting tradition. Unfortunately, I don't have enough alcoholic friends to, not alcoholic, that's not the right word. I don't have enough friends who drink to make that fun enough.
Yeah, you have to be kind of open to being explorative too, because it's like any place that looks like it serves alcohol, you're going in, you're just going to ask the guy at the bar, make us 3 or 4 of whatever is your favorite drink, your shot or whatever. And then he inevitably comes back with like some bottle of like $30 shot, whatever the hell.
Yeah.
Nonsense. And you're like, okay, we agreed to this, so we got to do it.
Oh god, what bars have I recently been to? Oh god, have you ever been to Bistro 422?
I haven't been
It's
there
this
yet.
tiny hole in the wall type of place. I went there recently just to check out their that deal they have. It's like a $15 cocktail pitcher. $15 for 4 ounces. Not too bad.
Alrighty,
Welcome back.
back I am.
They've only got a 3.2 on Yelp.
Well, that sucks.
Yeah, it's a pretty. I feel like a lot of college students probably go there just to get a cheap drink in. It was quite loud.
Is everyone back?
Yep.
Yeah, you missed all the drama.
Oh, wow. I hope not. Can't be missing any of that. Well, either way. Back into it. We find ourselves at the Ord Bastion. As you arrive, you spot myriad figure currently prodding around. Now, when you were previously here, you saw Commander Ramid, the not leader of the Hands of Ord, but one of the higher-ranking members, patrolling around. As you arrive this time, guards seem sparse. However, most of them recognize at least a few of you, and welcome you in. This time around, however, you notice that the office used commonly for meetings, the one you were in last, seems occupied.
Mhm. Well, do you want to see how busy they are, or do we want to wait?
We want to wait, of course. We have a lot of business to conduct here. I'll look around for a bench or something to sit on while we wait.
Seriously, just gonna burn daylight. We have plenty to do. We can just come back later.
If you want to ask one of the guards or anything, that's also free.
I guess I will. Follow me. Excuse me, do you know how long it's going to be in there, in the meeting room?
At the moment, it doesn't seem like it's going to be a long meeting. It's been going for a while now, and, shift rotations are soon, so I can't imagine they would be going for much longer.
Like 30 minutes? Probably.
Maybe less. Maybe more like 10 or 15.
Okay.
You're here for the supplies, yes?
Yes.
I could let them know, and maybe they could make time to talk with you. I believe the Archmage is in today.
That would be great.
Very well. I'll let her know you're here. And the guard will step inside of the building, closing the door behind him quickly. Leaving you to your own for a few minutes to talk if you must.
Sometimes you just have to take time and smell the roses and let the world pass you by a little.
Or, asking someone to try and speed things along goes a long way, I guess.
I suppose if you're in
Whatever.
a hurry.
Oh, I tried to make it go faster.
A moment's notice quickly appearing before you. The door opens again. The guard steps out and says, "You can all come in if you'd like."
Alright. When?
Alright. As you all enter into the same familiar, low-lit office, you see brief and generous rays of sunlight peering through almost half-closed, shuttered window. Inside being illuminated at the moment by magical lighting. Little wispy motes that seem to be floating about in this chamber, like stars in the sky. The Archmage, as you know her before, the tall standing tiefling, currently finds herself taking a seat and speaking at best with another strange figure. One you've heard of, but not quite yet seen. Oh my.
Why do I have the power to attack as Fleur?
What a strange question. Let's not do that. God. Anyways. The figure you see sitting at the larger desk at the moment, standing at the moment actually, would be a massive minotaur who stands taller than you all. Black furred with almost what looks like a long kind of braided beard and multiple iron inlets in here. A large set of heavy plate armor and a shield resting to the side, currently sitting at this table. Or standing, sorry. Let me not forget my own things. He looks towards you as you enter in and then looks back to the Archmage and says, "Are these the ones, Baela?" She says, "Yes, they're the ones currently helping us with our investigation as it still stands." "Let me introduce myself." He looks to you all.
Iron Hand Sim, I imagine.
"Then you've heard. And you know my reputation, I assume."
It's quite an impressive one.
Hmm.
To maintain the guard in a city of this size.
It's no easy feat, I assure you. But it's one that must be done. Regardless, Blay here has told, my English is terrible today, I'm sorry, told me of your predicament. Speaks to me on the fact that you're being pursued by an assassin from a different continent. The Dwendalian Empire, I presume.
Yep.
Well, I'll tell you now, we will not stand for a foreign assassin in our city's soil. We will do what we can to expedite the process of tracking this down. I have heard the current plan in action, and I must admit I am not a fan. Sitting and waiting is not my style. We have too many issues in the city currently present to wave this one off. Who knows? There could be more than just this halfling. What if they're pursuing higher tier figures? Nobles, trade merchants, the king?
Not our style to sit around and wait either. That's part of the reason why we're here.
Well then, I'm glad we are like-minded. as it seems for the moment this assassin is currently after you. The Archmage says, Now, Sam, you should be sure to watch your temper. These are new faces, after all. But I digress. I'm assuming you have, at least for starters, came here for the items. Now, as for Araz, our bird fellow has found his transportation attacked. The Iron Hand says,
I heard the most troubling news from one of the local journalists in town.
That damn journalist. Well, I can let you in on a little more of what's happened. Though it stays here. Since you're currently privy to this investigation, as the Archmage here informs me, it currently would be prevalent for you to know that this Araz figure has been found dead. Disposed of and no more of a problem to us. It took some time, longer than I would like to admit, and we had to rely on the Archmage's magic, as this was a time-sensitive, difficult window to beat. The transportation was attacked. Unruly citizens. We believe they might have ties to the Myriad, a local crime syndicate.
I would just like to point out as well that the one that was after me could look like other people, so it's a little hard to immediately jump to.
I was informed of this conclusion. However, the kind of weaponry that was used in this attack, explosives and guns, I know that those are almost all melted down in this city. However, the Myriad finds themselves having a short supply that they still employ, mostly for intimidation. But they've never directly attacked with them. Their stock is too limited, too scarce. Something is changing in the city. And whatever it is, your assassin might have some hand in it. Which is why I'm now interested in using all of you.
Do you think that they've stirred up the Myriad? Perhaps called them into action?
Oh yes, perhaps. It's not like the Myriad to get this aggressive outwardly. The Veil and the Myriad have been at each other's throats for a long time now. Only recently have this attack resulted in bloodshed between the two groups, and it seems like both of them are being independently armed, with the Veil leading the charge. It's only a matter of time until they manage to get enough swords, bows, and, if we're unlucky, firearms, to keep fueling their war in our streets.
Then it's in both of our interests to get to the bottom of this as soon as possible.
I agree.
I, for one, would most definitely be willing to help you.
Iron Hand looks a little more lax, looking towards your group now, this rather bull-headed figure. Now kind of calming down a bit more and saying, "That I like." The Archmage says, "As it stands, this assassin, Volstrucker, has been utilizing powerful magical devices to make themselves incredibly impossible to track. Since you haven't been attacked, I'm assuming they might either understand our current plan or be planning something special for you. Either way, this gives us time."
I also haven't really been making myself the easiest target, so...
And it's good that you've done so. Keeping yourself safe is the top priority. However, as it currently stands, we need to consider looking into the two crime syndicates in this city. The Iron Hand says, "It is very likely your assassin has stoked the flames. And perhaps, just perhaps, if we can start looking into the cause of this, we can kill two birds with one stone."
If we help you kill your birds with your stones, perhaps we could ask a small favor in return.
And what would that be? How much money are you looking for?
No money, as it were, but we would be interested in speaking with the leader of the city. We have, I'm sure that your Archmage already knows, a reason we've came to your city to begin with.
The Iron Hand... No, gone.
Particular gemstone of quite ancient origin, connected to an individual who was from Ankarel, but many centuries, thousands of years even in the past. Looking into this figure, we found that they've been connected to a lot more ancient magic than previously thought, and it only led us back here. Someplace deep underground, it seems, as well. We think that the king, the leader of Ankarel, might be able to help us, or at least provide us with more information. Something to go on.
They look to each other for a moment. Jaman Sa'ord is a very busy man. He does not make time for superstition lightly. However, if you can prove yourselves useful in aiding the law, we can guarantee you a meeting. Pull some strings. The Archmage says, "It's a little-known fact, but I'll let you privy to it for now. The two of us are actually quite close friends with the king himself. If we ask him for a few renewed favors, we should be able to get you what you want, assuming all of you have the shared interest. This could put your group on the map, if that's what you're looking for."
They don't speak much, but I'm sure they're all on board.
I'm trying to
Oh my
gauge
God, can you guys hear
Persephone's
me?
reaction. I'm
Oh
sorry.
yeah. Yeah, we can hear you now. Have you been muted the entire time?
It's too late.
Huh? What would you like to say?
No, it's fine. Eric's pretty much
can
said
rewind.
everything. No. Eric said pretty much everything that needs to be said. I was just gonna say some dumb shit. Anyways,
To what the Archmage said, though, do you have any response?
Sorry, I'm fucking tweaking.
we do need to.
Uh-huh.
I'd rather
hold
we
on.
negotiated a way to get into the maw.
You good, Keaton?
I'm fine. I'm fine.
Alright. Is there anything I can help you understand about the
No.
moment?
No, I understand perfectly.
Alright. Gotcha. Well, in the meantime, Eridanis, you were saying?
I wasn't going to say anything. Eric's.
Yeah,
Oh
about the
god.
law.
I'm trying to find it. You know, it's fine. My audio cut off. I have no idea what the hell the Archmage said.
He basically said they'll set up a meeting for us if we help them, yada yada yada, provided you guys are all on board with it.
Yada yada, sure. Oh my god. You know, no, actually, I should put my own 2 cents in on this. I guess I'll telepathically speak to Eric's as well, actually. Might as well, since he's been taking point in this conversation. And what of trying to access the maw? Might be a thing we could try to toss into this bargain.
I'll turn to him and say it out loud because I don't have telepathy.
Can't you respond? Let me check.
can
You can
respond.
respond.
That's a good point, Eridanis. We could also... Well, I suppose we could speak to the king if we do get our meeting. But we'd be interested in taking a closer look at this maw.
The maw. Do you mean the dig site?
Indeed.
You've already started calling it by the name the locals use.
Well, we've conversed with a few of the locals. but it does seem to be a rather interesting place. I wonder what had the folks there so afraid that they'd bring in the Hand of Ord, and then you would bring in the Allegiance of Allsight to this.
You said the name the locals call it. Do you have another name for it?
At the moment, everything you're asking is incredibly confidential. And despite what we've shared with you, this is something we cannot currently cross. Once you have time to speak with the king and you've proven yourselves, maybe we can discuss this further. But your interest is noted. And will be considered. However, that's politics I don't imagine you currently want to involve yourselves in.
Unfortunately, it's politics we've been involved in ever since we arrived. But first things first, this business with the assassins and the local guilds of ruffians, as it were.
Yes, let's get to the point. Continue your expeditions and do as you already plan on doing. Currently, Ramid is out, scouting with some of our more trained desert trackers. And some of our more inside spies, as it were. We are gathering information on the whereabouts of the Veil and the Myriad. And soon, we will be attacking. Trying to arrest as many as we can. Break an important operation. Recently, one of the Myriad hideouts has been taken down. By a group of locals. Or heroes, as they call themselves. But this has sent them on high alarm.
Did that group of heroes happen to be led by a blue half-orc?
Indeed. Regardless, with the Myriad currently taken down a peg, the Veil is the only group that stands in the way of currently toppling this fragile balance we find ourselves maintaining. So, what I ask, once we discover the whereabouts of the Veil hideout, I ask that you join Commander Ramid in his assault and arresting. It can be dangerous. But if you succeed, your names will be known to us well. And your meeting assured. And, as I've been made aware, there is a handful of items we possess that you're interested in. Now, we could talk coin all day. Or if you take this job and agree to help out when we're ready, we could give this all to you now.
Sounds good to me. I'm looking at the others. Are they nodding along?
Sounds good to me too.
Tweaking out?
The Archmage
Are they
will-
on the floor foaming from the mouth? What's going on?
The Archmage will speak before that, and will say, and to bring the topic more personal, to ensure your safety, while you're there, your main priority should be to investigate. We'll allow you to interrogate on your own if you wish. However, we need to gain information on this assassin. And if the Veil or the Myriad has anything to do with it, we're hoping you can find something out that we might have missed.
Alright.
Now, looking to the group, Eric's is trying to gauge the room. How does
As
everyone
lovely as
feel?
all
or
that sounds, I'm not really looking to make a decision on that in the next 5 seconds, so...
The Iron Hand says, if you would like to discuss this privately amongst yourselves, then I would suggest taking a step out for a moment. If you want to
Yeah,
come
that'd
back
be great.
later, feel free. I'll be here today.
Certainly. Thank you very much, Iron Hansen.
Of course. But let's not thank each other yet. Not until this is signed in ink. With that, your group steps out for a moment, and we'll find a nice private place to chat. Away from prying ears and eyes, you have a nice corner to yourself to discuss as a group.
So what do you all think? You were quite quiet in there.
Fucking no. The singular thing they want to do is take down the one group of people who have what I need and fucking burn it all. Hell no.
Perhaps you weren't listening attentively. They want us to be the tip of the spear.
Who's to say we
I
couldn't
heard.
abscond with some of this contraband before they burn the rest of it?
And then when they find out where it went, then what?
Well,
Then
see,
we get
that's
the
the
end of it.
key. That's the key. They don't find out.
They're going to
Yeah.
find out.
This may be our one shot to find out where this assassin is hiding that tried to kill Persephone, and more so to get a meeting with the king.
We don't need a meeting with the king, and if the assassin gives a fuck, they'll show up on their own.
I'm willing to overlook a little pilfering of a thieves' guild if you're so desperate for another weapon.
Besides, the matter of access to the maw or this dig site is also a concern of ours. We get in their good graces, at least for the time being. We can get into the maw, and we can continue our actual investigation.
What makes you think that this is the only way that we get into a dig site that fucking, like, what, Prolix's guys are running? What, they're a bunch of book nerds that pushovers.
They also have the Hands of Ord guarding that dig site. If you're already concerned with getting into their bad graces, I guarantee you breaking into the dig site is going to make them a lot more upset as well.
You may have been dead for only a few days, but you seem to have lost a lot of common sense.
Oh, don't you fucking start with me.
I say we take this.
You know what? Sure. Go on, accept your jobs. Keep me the fuck out of it.
Now that's the Persephone that we've all missed.
Oh,
What about you,
fuck you.
Fenzira?
What?
He's gonna nod over to this whole mess between Eric's himself and Persephone.
What do you want me to give an opinion on exactly?
Whether we should take this job, this arrangement as it is.
This
Best.
whole mess is stressing everybody out, and it's kind of my fault, so I'm having a hard time picking for everyone what they want to do.
No one's asking you to choose for everyone, only for yourself.
And to voice any reservations before we go back in there and make a decision.
Maybe I heard them wrong, but I thought that they just wanted to confirm or deny if these people had anything to do with the people that are after me. But other than that, I don't really have much of an opinion. I just want to make sure that we all have the things that we need and nobody's upset with each other.
They're planning to stomp out the local thief activity, and in doing so, also plan to interrogate them when they capture them. That should get us any information on if your assassin has been hiding out in this Veil group.
So we're not going to actually be getting rid of anything, we're just going to ask them questions?
We're storming their hideout when they call for us, presuming we take the job.
Quote-unquote storming. We could technically pretend to, well, we wouldn't have to be doing much of pretending, considering Stephanie has something to ask of them, I suppose. Need something from there. So, wouldn't really have to be barging in, I guess. I just don't want anybody to be upset about whatever we're going to do.
Oh, we're way fucking past that.
Perhaps now is the time to speak plainly and put all of your cards on the table.
Well,
Hey, sure. I interrupted you. Go on.
no, go ahead.
You talked.
I was prompting you to talk, so.
All right, fine. You know what my fucking problem is? My fucking problem is that I don't want to work with them because the person I'm working with isn't. And I need them desperately. I need anyone in this city who's keeping the gun activity alive to stay that way. There. Fucking happy?
Well, it does give us some context.
Perhaps you could tell us how you are connected to the gun activity in this city,
Oh, why? So you can lose your shit again?
so we can understand where you're drawing these emotions from.
Sure.
Oh,
When I was in Bazazan, on our last trip there, I was approached by a being named Orthax. And he really wants the guy that killed me years ago dead. And so do I. I was consecrated. I keep it to myself, but originally I was a general commander at something of some kind back in Jorhas for the Aurora Watch. They were sent on a mission into Taldore to retrieve a Luxon beacon, and I was shot dead in the head. And the only way I get to the person who did it to me again is through him. So I'm not looking to fuck that up a second time.
Well,
So what connection does this mysterious person you're hunting have to this part of the world? You said this occurred in Taldore, right?
The guy I want dead has no connection here, but I didn't exactly have a choice to wake up here when I got resurrected. But Orthax kickstarted gun production here. He's the whole reason it's in this continent. And he wants them alive, and I want his help. The person I want dead's name is Kynan Lior. He's the head of a guard down in Whitestone. Had a chance at him before, but I fucked the whole thing up.
well, you're not alone this time. At least you don't have to be.
I feel pretty fucking alone.
I mean,
Try to get everyone to act as a team earlier today instead of fucking challenging everything. all the time. I was looking for some compassion, at least. But I got brushed off.
By who? What?
This morning, said I wanted to act as a team for once.
Well, that's what we're
Ran
currently
right
doing.
past it.
We're currently working as a team to come to a proper conclusion that we're all happy with.
A team is a give and take. You can't just expect everyone to fall in line. But I'm not going to put words in anyone's mouth, but we have no reason to stop the gun production on Corel. Sure, we can storm this Myriad base. That doesn't mean we have to kill anyone.
I should quickly make an addendum. It's the Veil, specifically. So it's the other group, not the ones that are known for using guns.
Take the imaginary whiteout and come up with Myriad and replace it with Veil. Yeah.
It's the ones who aren't really known for firearms.
And who's to say you can't leak the firearm building instructions to any other group in the city? Hell, you could give it to that journalist, and he'd print it in his newspaper.
The way to do it was already leaked, clearly. It's illegal here. That's the whole point. Doing that, taking down that group, is a spear to the heart of the whole thing. And I can't be involved with it at all.
Perhaps a few words to Jermon's sword might get that ban lifted.
I doubt it, or it wouldn't be there in the first fucking place. Being a team's a give and take, right? Right? I just gave my life.
Absolutely.
Where's your give?
You're walking on 2 feet.
Last time I checked, it was Fen and Eridonis that did that for me. And you complained about it the whole time.
As you're complaining now. I've given, and I've taken.
Above, this is getting ridiculous. These are dark times. It seems to be that I will have to proceed in this. Look, they're going to be driving this spear through the heart of this whole industry that's going on here. They want us to be the tip of that spear. As far as I understand it, we only need to keep them satisfied as so long as we need them to grant us access to various places, be it the King's Chambers, the Maw, whatever it is. So, in that case, as long as they, this Hands of Ord, believe that this whole industry of firearms has been permanently silenced, then they will give us what we want. We needn't take everybody there, as long as we're able to convince a few of them perhaps to lie low, shall we say. We'll still strike a tremendous blow against them, but it needn't fully perish. And as far as I understand it, as long as they're interested customers, these sorts of things will always flourish. Why not take that option instead? That way we ensure that we're in the good graces of the Hands of Ord, whilst also at least keeping some tiny ember of this whole business alive in this city. Surely it can come back into strength on its own. Could that not be a course of action we could take? We must decide on something. I doubt they'll be waiting in there till the end of days.
I don't trust that it's gonna work that way. Simple as.
And perhaps instead of putting your trust in the guards, you should intercede directly.
I planned on it. Thanks.
As far as I see it, there are multiple ways to figure out my problem without causing a problem for Persephone, so...
Unfortunately, it's not just your problem that we are struggling with. We have the problem of the assassins, the problem of this jewel, this maw, and information. If you have any other solutions to those, I would love to hear them.
As far as going to the dig site, I have the man's bracers. I could give them back to him and ask him for access.
And if we're gonna be playing the allegiance like that, then Consortium's right there.
We'll figure out that one.
Then I suppose we should tell these guards we're not interested in their deal.
I suppose we should then. And let us move on. The day grows ever longer.
Really? Just like that?
Evidently, we waste much more time at this pass we have right now than if we move on. I, for one, am quite interested in getting into this maw, and it seems to be if the two of you keep on arguing, we'll be standing here till the end of times. Something has to give, of course.
If you keep picking at its scab, those wounds stay fresh when they would have otherwise healed.
And Persephone,
Shit.
we brought you back because we had thought you a friend, not out of some mercantile give and take.
Those were
Regardless
his
of
words,
whatever
not
we
mine.
regardless of whatever we
But
say.
thank you.
Odds
Does mean a lot.
above. I think I missed the days when I was the only one who needed to be wrangled. Let's go back in there, get this mess sorted with. Are we all gonna head inside?
Yep.
All right.
Alrighty.
Kick in the door. It's been a while. I think they waited for like an hour. Half an hour.
It's probably like...
It wasn't
10
an
minutes.
hour.
We'll put it in a
Yeah.
half an hour just because I like that. I like wasting your group's time. It's fun.
Bro.
Gotta make that clock keep ticking by. But as you enter in, the Iron Hand and the Archmage look to all of you expectantly. Have you come to a conclusion?
I think we have.
Then what will it be?
I'll turn to Persephone.
Are you gonna make me? We're gonna pass. It's a bit too risky for us right now.
I highly doubt a better opportunity will present itself, the Archmage says. But we respect your autonomy as a group. If it is your wish not to involve yourselves with this business, looking to the Iron Hand, then we cannot force you to. After dropping that momentary stare, she looks back and says, let's go ahead and talk about the items that bird had. maybe you'll be able to get something out of them.
The fame can pass us by, but there is another group which might be interested in helping you.
Do tell.
The very same that dealt with the Myriad.
The Iron Hand says, maybe you're right. It seemed like a group of people who could take initiative. He stands up and says, stay out of trouble, and then walks out of the door. The Archmage looks down and nods her head almost disapprovingly. I'm sorry. Truly, we should have ourselves held to a higher standard of manners than that, but unfortunately, he's always been a little hot-headed. It's who he is. We appreciate your recommendation, though. We were already, in truth, considering that group for other tasks, should you have declined. It was inevitable. If in the future you find yourselves learning more about this assassin and you don't want to get tied into the government side of it, at the very least consider letting me know. I can keep our business private. So long as we are willing to talk.
Yeah, I may do that in the future, depending.
Very well. Now here, we've investigated these items. None of them appear to be cursed or enchanted in any foul or unexpected way. It was simply that this individual was armed to deal with a problem. And now his armaments can become yours. We have no need for what he has previously owned. To read off the items to all of you, she'll say, the first thing we have here is an elemental shard of otherworldly energy. It would be called to some a far realm shard. If you possess magic akin to that of those born with it, sorceress powers, you might be able to utilize this shard to invigorate your spells in a frightening way to your foes. Next up, we have the Mage Plate Cloak. This shall afford any of you who find yourselves not fond of heavy armors, well protected in the heat of battle. Better so, perhaps, than a suit of armor might be able to provide. Nextly, we have this magical crystal, a stone of leadership, as I shall call it. As it stands, this should enhance any of your capabilities, charismatic or otherwise. And lastly, a ring that can protect your mind from prying eyes. As it stands, I can let you leave with 2 of these items. I know which ones I would pick, but I'll let you take these for free. Call it a favor from me. Otherwise, we would have just sold these off somewhere for a meager profit. Our city has no issue making money, as I'm sure you've been aware. If you want, I can post all the items in the chat.
Yes, please.
Sure. Let the caster scavengers dig through the stuff.
Yeah, none of this would be useful to you. Maybe not none of it, but this next item. Nope, didn't post properly. There we are.
Pitch plate. Da, 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 da.
And that's all of them.
Oh.
Fucking
Oh,
weird too.
that. Oh, that mage plate cloak, I forgot. It's pretty fucking good. Wait a minute.
Bro, you already got
Mage.
shit.
Mage armor. Target Dawn's armor, you dismiss it. Oh, that includes a shield. Shard.
Meantime, I'm gonna keep making my meme while you're looking at these.
Mind shielding.
Yes, in the meantime, at some point, I'm going to give Eridanos my +1 shield. If you're into shields now.
I am. I'm tired of getting hit by everything under the sun.
Deal of you taking the +1 shield?
Yeah, not yet, of course.
Yeah, but later.
Of course, I can drag it in after
Let's
session.
see. Well,
I mean, like, I'll be holding on to it until.
Yeah.
Okay, understood.
Iron Stone. What's your current charisma, Eric's?
18.
Oh, so you could, if you would grab the Iron Stone, you'd have 20 then. Nice.
I think it's probably attunement, though, right?
It
So I
is.
don't need it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm attuned to the Conflux of Animosity, the 203 Prayers, and the Mistbreaker Broken.
I'm capped out on charisma, so
Maybe I think an Iron Stone might go over cap.
it doesn't.
read.
It says here to a
Oh, does it?
maximum of
Okay.
20. So
Right.
I can't. I can't.
That'd be the Tome of Leadership that would go over. Okay.
Me being a
Oh,
greedy
sure.
grinner and wishing I could have all of them.
I mean,
I could only grab 2, apparently.
none of us. Wait, no one here is a sorcerer, right?
No. I mean,
Our sorcerer is dead in the street somewhere.
Okay, we'll just
Fenzira can cast
Yeah.
Fenzira can cast meta magic spells, and I would allow that item to apply to that because of a feat.
Oh, okay, so you do have. Okay. Honestly, I recommend just the Mage Blade Cloak and the Iron Stone. I mean, the Iron Stone's +2 charisma. Like,
Who needs the charisma?
didn't you want a charisma thing at some point just to boost up your persuasion ability, or am I going crazy?
I mean, it could help, but I don't know.
I mean, I wouldn't say no if we're
You could also get a
taking
20.
it, but yeah, I feel like there's better stuff to take.
Depends. The mind shielding would be good if I go up against another one of the fucking assassin people, but
Were they? Do they lying? The fish type? I mean, it won't stop them from locating you, from what I see here.
Just reading your mind, pretty much.
Holy moly! If one of us dies, we can go in the ring.
yeah.
Provided there's no one already in it.
Yep. Yep, you can sit inside the ring. So long as it's
You know,
empty.
it's up to you, Fenzira.
Your blood was spilled for this.
Your blood.
Well, a few people's blood,
A
but...
few people's
I think it was
blood.
mostly my
Intended.
blood that was spilled for that.
Oh no, it was
It
Eridanos's.
was, yeah.
For fighting
Actually, no, it was
bird.
also Eric's for fighting Roz.
Oh, I
God.
guess that's true. Yeah, true. Forgot about that. Sleeping on it. Sleeping on your participation.
Hi, they. Fuck. Decisions. Hell.
That bird did like 90 points
Well,
of damage.
we're
to
pretty
it.
much done with session anyway, so you can take your time to think about it. If you want, we can end and then you can think about it post-session. And we can come back to it.
Well, we say we grab 2 of the items,
Yep.
we say our thanks to the Archmage, and we head out.
Go.
Works just fine with me.
And
I
what 2
will
items
allow.
are those? Find out next week on Dragon Ball Z.
Oh my god, I forgot to do it this time on Bottom Deep.
This door won't- Well, you can make up for it. You'll be fine, I'm sure.
Either way. Even ways.
Regardless. As we find ourselves moving forward, where would your group like to go once you're concluded? Off to the streets? What would be your next destination?
Okay. Let me trace a path.
been drawn.
Shade time.
Would you like to go to the shade?
I wouldn't mind stopping by the Sunfire Forge one more time, but
If you wanted, you could make your way to the shade and then the Sunfire pretty easily, I would say.
where's the shade?
Shade's right down here. Unless your group tends to head back to the Suncut Bazaar, seems to be a common place. But either way, I would say, given the daytime you have left, I'll say the streets are pretty quiet today as it is the turning of a season. You'd be able to make it to the Shade and the Sunfire Forge in the day, though you might have to find an inn close by once you're done with either location.
Well, we gotta make it back here as well at the nighttime because Persephone rented out the fucking thing.
No. I have to make it there.
That's what I'm
I'll be
saying.
fine.
Oh my god.
Well, it'll be fine. You can say you go to the Sunfire Forge and then head back around to the Suncut Bazaar next session into the Shade.
Sure.
Alrighty then. As your group head onward towards the Sunfire Forge, passing through the city streets, another day in Ank'Harel continues as the time ticks ever onward. The streets clear and quiet, allowing you some much-needed peace. We end this session today, and maybe next session we can continue with our journey ahead. Goodbye.
Whoa.